Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is in the building Monday night. Saucy on a Monday night, as I like to say. My name is Kevin Barnes, and I'm the host of Outlaw Radio. I am known in some circles as the mayor of Chocolate City, the mouthpiece of the movement, a.k.a. the Negro Whisperer, certified life coach, Negro Whisperer. I am not alone. I got my partner in crime with me as usual. I'm gonna shift it over to him and let's see what's popping with him. Let's see if he can. That's because he be kind of stingy with his energy sometimes, y'all. So I want to see if he gonna bring it tonight. Mr. Carter, what's popping with you?
Hey man, life is what's popping, y'all. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, the hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm all of y'all holistic health, the wellness coach. Y'all better come on in. I'm also the one who brings you nature and herbs and supplements. You can find it on Facebook, Nature and Herbs and Supplements, or you can go to my health page, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself. Ask about me. Somebody gonna point you in my direction. Then you can go to my inbox and I'm gonna tell you how to get your Nature and Herbs and Supplements and Vitality. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, hey, look, dig this. August 1st, y'all be ready to come to the Sherman Phoenix, man, for the House of Vitality. The grand open for the House of Vitality, y'all. I'm really planning on this. I'm saying this right here on air because I'm trying to speak it into existence. So, what's happening, y'all? You ready?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You know, definitely we want to support that. And we also want any and everybody out there who's listening to know we support you as well. So if you have something positive or progressive that you are trying to promote in the city, please hit us up. There's a number involved with the show. It's 262-202-5131, 262-202-5131. We have a chat room that's on deck. I see people in there already. He walked the great. He said, greatness is in the house. How you doing, my brother? My brother Earl Henning, what it do, what it do? My man, 50 grand, Telly Nellum from the neighborhood. That's family right there. He said, what up, famo? How you doing, man? What's going on, my brother? Thank you for tuning in to the show. Oh, Dion in this motherfucker. He said, your man, your boy is in this motherfucker. Control C, how you doing? Ticey Godsey in the building, man. That's what's up. She said, man, make sure she said, we always in the building. Show up August 1st, grand opening. I was that 11th. I'm sorry, 11th. First? Okay, say 1TH. Okay, first.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't know who's up. Dion, how you doing? He said, what up, man? Man, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. If you want to know how to tune into the show, people always say, Kev, you got podcasts, right? Yeah, I see it. It's on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever we choose to cut the machine off. I also have a YouTube page. I'm on Twitter. We're the People's Network with a Z on YouTube. I'm going to promote that page a little bit more so that you can support us in that way. But even if you miss any episode, everything is archived on my personal page as well as our Outlaw Radio page on Facebook. There's no way you can miss us, right? And we appreciate you for rocking with us because this is the show where you're going to get a straight lace, no chaser, man. This is black men talking to black men. Of course, sisters are welcome to chime in at their own behest, right? White, black, Puerto Rican, Mexican, whatever you are. Just know when you get on this platform, it's a platform for black people. So we're going to talk about black people stuff, right? And if you can't take that, hang up. Please bypass my show. I don't need no smart ass geniuses that are dumb trying to troll me, right? And if you do, it is what it is. Where we
hey, man, you know you better be careful if you do.
Hey, at your own risk, right?
On risk.
Not a threat of like doing nothing like shooting or looting, but you get your wordplay torn apart on here. It's vernacular precision.
Yeah,
you know enough.
That sounds so good. Kev Otter never came up with that one, man. That sounds great.
What's that one? What
you just said, the word vernacular, and you know we hit you with this and all that. Acular, you know what I'm saying?
I gotta get
it came out so good, man. It came out so good.
Yeah, man. It feels good to do it, man. Juice Lady in the building. How you doing tonight, Courtney?
I'm well. How y'all doing?
Cordo.
We are doing very well. Blessed to be here another night. For
Good.
Outlaw Radio live from the basement, we gonna talk some shit tonight. Dion said it. He said, "I know we gonna talk about dude punching old girl lights out." Oh man, we gonna get into it. My sister Antonia Anderson from the Milwaukee Hip Hop Museum. Hello, Kevin and Kamar. How you doing, my sister Antonia? Please,
Peace.
And
please
so,
rock with Antonia with the Hip Hop Museum 365 all day, every day, man. Listen, like I said, man, we're on Mondays and Wednesdays. You can always go and check out the archive shows. And we're going to add some slots. So, just give us time. It all get greater later. Let me see if I can bring Mr. Relly Cantone in. Mr. Two Chins, how you doing today, man?
Peace, peace. How everybody doing?
Yes, sir.
All
We're
right.
well. We're well. We got the whole family with us tonight. I guess I stalled enough time for y'all late asses to get here. So welcome to
help
the
me
show.
right now. And then you be going on. I'll be having to finish my shower. Then I have to pour my wine up. I need my drink.
Oh shit. Taylor Port in the building. Taylor Port in the building. Taylor
No,
Port. Okay.
we'll be calling this real special. Look.
Oh.
that's what you figured out? Oh shit.
Hey, and shout out to Rail. Thank you for saying that. Rail gave me some wine, white grape wine. Man, it was good. It was sweet, it was
Say
smooth,
what?
it was refreshing. Man, your
I
boy
drink
felt
your wine, real.
man.
Oh,
Did
okay.
get you
Shit.
drunk? Did you get drunk?
I didn't know you drank wine, fam. I got something for you. I got some
You
grapefruit.
know, I'm gonna tell you, real. Every once in a while, I drink
Oh,
something.
hey, it's all good. I got a grapefruit bottle. I just bottled up yesterday.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like grapefruit too.
Hey,
Okay.
come check it out.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Tyson in the chat room with Moss for you. She said, "Wait, we didn't get no wine. What's that?
Look.
What's that?" Real with the elixirs. No, I'm telling you, smooth. It was good, man. I wasn't
Man, that
drunk.
should be making me sweat, man. After 3 sips, I'll be sweating and hot.
Man,
I put the cup down.
I'm an old pirate, man. I'm an old pirate. Like it's gonna take a bottle of wine is gonna make me giggle, right? But
Oh,
it's
okay.
smooth. It was smooth just because it was a chill thing. I'm telling you, you will love it if you. And you just really got to figure out how to get this into mass production, man. It was good, man. I'm telling you, I give it my 2 thumbs up. My
I'm
buzzed in the
glad you
garage
enjoyed it.
thumbs up. Yes, it was white grape. It was good. I might have to get another bottle from you. Because
Okay.
yeah, no,
In
because
fact, I
I
like
gotta
you so much.
right. As a matter of fact, right. Shout out to Rail though, man. The wine was dope. It was dope, man. It was. And I'm not, I'm a wine drinker every now and then,
Yeah,
but it was good, man. It was good. So shout out to you.
I
Um,
appreciate
there's a lot going on, right? And so I know everybody wants to start somewhere. And I was like coming up with the show, and I'm like, damn, where do I actually want to start? Okay. And I think the perfect place to start is in Chicago. All right. Let's talk about what just happened over the weekend in Chicago. A lady, and this footage is in the People's News Network, by the way. Go to the People's News Network. It's our sister group. It presents all this information as well. There's a sister in a restaurant arguing with a brother. There's a back and forth. Initially, see, I'm famous for watching shit with the volume down. That's what I do most of the time, right? So I'm just looking like get to the good part. But when I turned it up and I heard the conversation, there's a conversation he's having, and he says, "I'll knock you out. Say one more word, I'm gonna knock you out." On my grandmama, and she said something, and he commenced to throwing hard shots, like punches, right?
Call it.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, smack. You could hear it. Pop, pop, pop. Apparently, her son is involved, becomes involved, and this lady is a concealed carry. She has a permit, or whatever their version of it is in Chicago. And so I don't know if she gave her son the gun or if he had the gun, but her son intervenes. She tells him kill him. He shoots the dude, murders him, and they're arrested, but then the charges are dropped. Okay. So I want to lay that story out for everybody who may have not be, because I know people like Kamar don't watch, he be like on working and hustling. He'd be like, I ain't see that shit.
Hey,
So,
I do watch YouTube, however.
My
okay,
mama
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know about
You know,
it.
I like to monitor what I watch. I like to pick and choose what I watch.
I
Yeah,
feel
that
you.
pod versus real. YouTube is it'll get you. Courtney, what was you saying?
I was saying my mama didn't know about it. I was telling her. She was like, I ain't know. So yeah, some people.
So it's a lot involved in this case. I guess we'll start with the easy part, which is should they or should her and her son be charged with murder? All
No,
things considered.
no,
Well,
man
like
was
I say, you know what I mean? Okay, I done heard a version of the story where when you know what I mean, when the guy and on a video while he was actually fighting his mama, the dude shot him. You know what I mean? At that point, no, I don't think no murder charges should be filed or nothing. But then I heard a version of where it was like he chased the dude out the restaurant
Okay.
and shot him.
but I don't think that's true.
Now at that point, when you chase somebody and shoot them, I think the circumstances change.
I don't know if it's factual that he chased him because the DA said
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It was just another version that I had heard. I wasn't sure. And that's why I said, like, if he did do that, I think the circumstances would change.
Okay.
But if it's just right there with the dude on his mama, get the dude off his mama, you know what I mean? No, I don't think charges should be filed.
What you got, Courtney?
I was saying, even though they were arguing, you know, in most Milwaukee videos or arguments, you would have been heard a bitch ass nigga, woo woo woo, something wild coming from the woman, but you didn't hear anything. Even though he still was wrong in what he was doing, you didn't hear her being disrespectful. You didn't hear anything that would have, you know, sparked somebody to bust you in your shit. He seemed like he was just wild and kind of out of control. So, yeah, he kind of deserved that a little bit. He put that on himself.
So you don't believe they should be charged with murder?
Nah, I don't. No.
Okay. Real, where you at on this, man?
Just an unfortunate ass thing, man. To me, self-defense is self-defense, or defending somebody you love. A man getting beat on by a woman could potentially be fatal. So,
you know what I'm saying? On by a man.
Huh?
Yeah.
A woman getting beat on by a man, you mean, right?
Man getting beat on by a woman. You had like women.
He was beating a woman,
and that's why.
Right.
So a woman getting beat on by a man could be potentially fatal. I mean, the way he was dropping bombs on her, you know. I mean, not to chuckle at it, but you know. So no, I think it can be charged up as self-defense in an unfortunate nigga moment.
Okay. Okay. So that's one layer of it. I also am kind of on the fence, or well, not on the fence, but just kind of indecisive on whether or not I feel like they should be charged with murder, because number one, I don't know what was on this cat's mental or whatever. And anybody out there who thinks like this, even if she was gutter disrespectful, even if she was bitch ass nigga, hoe ass mog, whatever, this man drew back and threw 2 straight bolos and punched her in the face.
Yeah,
that in itself makes anything else involved with what happened after, whether he got chased or however it happened, it almost makes it justifiable. And especially if I'm the kid and this is my mama, I know that's not a legal thing, but the legality of it is that the DA said that there was no real reason to charge them with murder because he felt like, or she felt like, whoever, whatever they are.
Right.
I don't know their pronouns, right? He said, she.
Don't get me wrong. I ain't arguing.
He said it was self-defense and found no reason to charge him for murder. So, it ain't up to me.
Don't get me wrong. I ain't arguing the fact that they ain't charging. You know what I mean? Because like I say, you're supposed to protect your mama. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're supposed to do that. So I ain't arguing the fact. That's why I said I was just saying, like, you know what I mean? You think legally, when you go to court, you know what I mean? They go on by the law and by the book. And you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Morals
There's no
ain't
emotion.
got nothing to do with nothing.
Emotions have nothing. The fact that it was your mama, whatever, none of that matters in court. So I guess that's what I'm shooting at too, Kamar, is that, no pun intended, is that although we know that there's a deeper issue, we know that, and I'm pretty sure any attorney, any prosecutor, and the DA, they usually have lunch over this kind of shit. I think they both agreed that since this was a kid who was defending his mother from an aggressive man who had decided he was going to go full Ike Turner in a restaurant, right? And I don't know when you fools going to learn. I don't know when you're going to learn this, right? No matter what you do, no matter where you're at, there's somebody with a motherfucking phone. Your ass is on candid camera. I don't know why people do stupid shit in public like I can get away with it. Bruh, it's 17 people with iPhones out here. Some of them got different angles. They could damn near do a reenactment of the shit with the bare footage because there's cameras in the street lights. There's security cameras in businesses. Smile. You don't carry the camera. So when you do this kind of shit, I just feel like you open up the floodgates to some foolishness. Dion said he needs some non-alcoholic wine, Rail. I don't know if he do it. We might as well just get some soda, Dion.
Was that some Zima, some grape juice?
Right, I don't know. Right. Get you some sparkling. He don't do sparkling yet. He don't got the facilities yet. Mad Dog 2020. Earl Henning said, "Oh shit, Mad Dog. That's some shit you don't want to bring back, especially nowadays. Please." He said her son was a hero. Say that again, Courtney.
I thought it was Mogan David. I thought y'all been calling him Mad Dog, and it really is Mogan David.
Well, that's what somebody said, but we in the hood say Mad Dog 2020.
Oh, y'all just gonna keep it Mad Dog anyway.
Yeah. That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
It's nigga shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hold on a second, Dion. Hold on. Earl says, no, this is Dion. He said, I think women should learn from this because you can't be out here arguing with men. And if it would have went the other way, people would have called their mother reckless for getting their son murdered. So you on the line, Dion. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I got to catch you before I get back on this road. But you know what, though? See, the thing I don't like about the whole situation is what transpired to make that man go off like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying, though? Like, men, and don't get me wrong, it could have been that's just how he is, because there's people like that. But if you see somebody acting irate, because I know we all have been places, we see somebody acting irate, we'll be like, nah, let me get up out of here. Because even if she would have paid for the food already, she could have been like, let me know when my food ready. I'm about to go get in the car. She could have went in the car, told her son to go back in there and get the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we got to remove ourselves from situations. Also, that man got people that love him. Now, I don't know what affiliation he was in the shy. Niggas get down. I'm from the town. And I know one of my guys get killed when we was growing up. It didn't care who did it. We trying to get on it. You understand what I'm saying? So nowadays, ain't no rules, ain't nothing. Niggas probably like, man, old girl, they got my guy whacked. All her information is public. We about to get on her. You know what I'm saying? Her and Shorty. You understand what I'm saying? See, that's the whole thing. And that's where that toxic femininity come in, that when women think that they are equal to men. You cannot be out here arguing with no man, going back and forth, thinking that you tough Tony. It could, like I said in the text, he could have had a stick on him. Niggas in the shop running around with 30s, and you don't even see it up here. Niggas running around with drums and Dracos. So say if he had that stick on him, boom, he had knocked the old girl in the face. He see Shorty up. He up, him and Shorty popped each other, they both died. Now, people looking at her, they villainizing her like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to label her son a hero. Okay. You feel what I'm saying, though? Women, go ahead, kid, go ahead.
I got two things off top. Number one is, as a man, there's no excuse, no matter what she said, unless she really snatched his money out his hand and paid for her food and said, fuck you, nigga, and spit on him. And even then, because you said women shouldn't be out here arguing with men, my thing is men shouldn't be out here arguing with women. Because as a man, you know, if as a man, you know that a woman her mouth will get reckless. And if you as a man gonna stand there and go back and forth with a female, I kind of question you, because what you should do is, you know what, I'm just finna move around before I end up doing something. But hold on. The second part is, I hear you about the retaliation and whatnot. I hear you on that, because that's entirely, especially in Chicago, you know, that's no joke. But at the same time, if my guy, and you said let's remove ourselves, but it sounds like we need to be putting ourselves into it. Because if I see my guy take a hit like that, I'm still sitting here saying that's the homie. But damn, why would he punch dude? Mom, that's his mama, right? So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if you could say, well, women need to watch what they doing. That's why they shouldn't be out here. Not necessarily.
Yeah. You know, it go both ways. It go both ways.
It do go both ways.
Yeah, it go both ways. Ain't no love out here.
We fucked up on both sides.
Hold on.
We fucked up on both sides. We fucked up on both sides. You know what I mean? You got men that's willing to put their hands on women and do all that type of But then you got women that's willing to disrespect men to their face like that also. You know what I mean? So it go both ways where both of us need to do some work. You know what I mean?
Well, even if
a lot of the women in the community on that end need to do some work. A lot of the men in the community need to do some work as far as their aggression and being willing to hit people.
Even if she disrespects you, is it cool for you to just punch her in the mouth?
It's not. It's not.
Right,
and that's why I say, but and that's why it takes for men to do the work too.
Right.
So we can learn to have that restraint.
Right. But you can't tell.
But we don't.
Even if she do that, we still supposed to have restraint.
Right.
Go ahead, Rail.
I mean, and you absolutely right. As a man, you should understand and have a lot more self-control. But the reality is, like, the way I view it is like the old Boondock shit, a nigga moment. Nobody wins in a nigga moment. Whether or not that lady was right or wrong, convicted or not, her son has to now live down the trauma of taking a life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is a big ass ripple that could have been avoided if motherfuckers just grew the fuck up and shut the fuck up. Like, not that he was right for bombing on her, but I don't know where that nigga mindset was. I don't know who raised him. We say as men, we ain't supposed to put our hands on women, but a lot of niggas out here being raised by women, they never seen a man. So they get the same petty tendencies as the same woman that raised them type shit. And it ain't right, but I'm big on mental health because we can't tell somebody how to react to disrespect. That nigga might have been his last nerve, and I'm just bombing on the next motherfucker that disrespects my manhood. I don't know, but the reality is, at the end of the day, no matter who right or wrong, that little boy took a life that he has to live with for the rest of his life.
Right. Okay. So Dion, give me a second. Let me get my chat room on deck. Ticey says it doesn't matter what transpired. She didn't touch him. He should not have put his hands on her. Shout out to Antonia. She says, keep up the good work. He could have walked away, period. Ticey also commented his lady was bogus for hyping him up. Yes, it goes both ways. We don't respect each other anymore. She said, pass the cup, Courtney French. on the rail special, right? Earl Hennig says, say bye, bitch, and keep it moving on to see a new day. Yeah. So Dion, I just getting the reaction. I'm not saying that I believe you're right or wrong. You got the right to your opinion, obviously. So you want to elaborate a little bit further.
But then, like I said, we don't know the frame of mind of that man. Like I said, and we have to see it from beginning to the end. We only caught that little piece right there. Because if I go in there and I see this guy already irritated, I'm like, I don't even want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can already feel, like, you know how you go somewhere and somebody talking to themselves and they doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? They walking with their shirt off and they just looking angry. You like, man, I don't even want that type of vibe by me. You know what I'm saying? I don't even, something had to transpire. You know what I'm saying? Where you felt it and like, man, let me move around. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even when he was talking crazy, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to put your hands on me. And then if she would have walked away and he would have attacked her from the back, then I could understand that. But you standing there, the man told you, say one more word. You should be like, this nigga crazy. Let me get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it be situations where you just be like, man, I don't even want that food. Man, look, I'll be back. Let me get my money back. Hey, going, I would have probably went outside, told my son that, you know what I'm saying, to go outside or whatever. I mean, not to go outside, to go in there, whatever. Like, it could have been avoided, like I said. Okay. But now, don't get me wrong. We don't know. Like, people crazy these days, Kevin. They whooping old ladies. Come on, man. They whooping. But okay, I just seen down in Memphis where they just put the hustle, man.
So some of the facts that have come out, right? Number one is that I guess allegedly his girlfriend was videoing. We keep saying that show how old we are. We say filming. She was the one who was recording. Now I seen OJ. Shout out to OJ. He had put up a post, and I don't know how true this is.
He suck as a girlfriend.
How about that? He said that lady who was recording, he had fractured her neck, like I guess a couple months prior. And also we keep saying about his state of mind, but the next picture that I seen is of him with his daughters. And so I'm saying, okay, so this, and they saying, well, then regardless of what happened, that man was somebody's father and this and that. But I'm saying, okay, you have two
Bad
daughters.
example for his daughters.
Well, yeah, it is. But well, it's a loss for his daughters because his ass ain't gonna be here. You know,
right?
He ain't gonna be taking on no prom pictures.
Well, but you know, and all that comes from his bad decision. So
yeah,
you know,
man, I just want to say to any man out here, and this is just my perspective. You say what you want. You should never hit a woman unless she hits you. Now, we do got some doulos. We got some females that'll ball up, that'll bong. Especially some of these studs out here. They'll pop you upside your head.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But this, in this case, this woman wasn't even appearing to be threatening in that fashion. She was running her mouth, but she wasn't even loud. It was just like, go ahead, Dion, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm about to jump on 41 and listen to you. But now I want to ask you this. Now I'm a villain, I'm a villain. But I mean, I just want to know who come up with all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I try to alleviate myself out those situations because I don't have time for it. I used to be when I was younger, you know what I'm saying? But mine was from being jealous and possessive and controlling. I used to be physically abusive to my daughter mom, but I outgrew that, you know what I'm saying? And then I learned, because it took a while for me to forgive myself. But now this is what I want to know. Who came up with this unspoken rule that we ain't supposed to hit women, though? I mean, just really, though, who came up with this unspoken rule? If you could stand toe-to-toe to me and sit up there and verbatim go back and forth and tell me what you going to do to me and spit, because we have seen videos of women that spit in men's face or women that attack men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know who came. Oh, well, this is just an unspoken rule. We're not supposed to hit a woman. But if that woman come bust your motherfucking head or slap the shit out of you, you just supposed to sit up there and take it like, oh, I'm not supposed to hit a woman.
Nobody's saying that you don't have the right to defend yourself. But there is a thing with as a man that we should it's not cool for you to be pro hands. It's not. Now, if you got that relationship where y'all get down and y'all move furniture, it is what it is. But you should not be so even you just said, you felt bad internally. You felt bad. You know that what you did was wrong. That is the answer to your question. But that's the answer to your question, though. No, the fact that you knew you were wrong. Ain't nobody had to say shit. You said, "Damn, dog, why you do that? You ain't had to do that shit." You even just admitted.
Dion, so you telling me, you wouldn't feel bad watching your girl walk around with a black eye?
But but I'm about to hang up and listen. I'll probably call back once I get a little closer back to the palace. But I'm about to jump on 41, man. Y'all be smooth.
All right, Dion. All right.
I love, bro.
Yes,
love.
sir. Yes, sir.
No, I do understand what he's saying. I ain't champion hitting women and shit like that. But I mean, the reality is, what it sounds like he's saying is, when did that take effect? Because if you look throughout history, we get the rule of thumb from when you beat your wife, you're not allowed to hit her with a stick any thicker than your thumb. That's the rule of thumb type shit.
That's some shit.
When you look at the whole, like you said, sharecroppers and that whole color purple shit, motherfuckers was getting knocked upside the head for not doing shit. Or even, like, I sent y'all that, I don't know if I shared it to y'all, whatever, when it was a white dude, he threw his lady over his lap and spanked her, and then the little girl came in and said, "Daddy, did you just spank mommy? That means you love her."
All right. Listen. I have uncles. I have older relatives who will tell you that's
change their view on that shit. But throughout history, there have been.
Hey, listen, that has happened. You know what I mean? But in our culture, traditionally in our culture, that shit don't come from us. You know what I mean? Traditionally in our culture, we upheld our women to a better standard than that. You know what I mean? To a higher degree, to where it was more like we understood the God qualities about them. So you know what I mean? It may have been some people to do some shit like that, but they were shunned upon in the village. You did
like you think in the Color Purple days, the niggas said
way before that. I'm talking about before slavery. I'm talking about.
You mean okay? Before we
so
got polluted.
So let me catch the chat room up. Let me get the
this
chat
shit.
room.
I'm talking about all this shit.
All
this shit. My fault, Kevin. But hey, let me finish my point. All this shit come because he was asking about where did this come from.
Okay,
this shit come from the white folks. You know what I mean? How they was treating women and black folks and everybody else. You know what I mean? They've been shitting on their women. They always beat their women. You look at different pictures of them in their cartoons dragging their women by the hair. You know what I'm saying? That's where this shit come from. And then it was our people like, hold on, man, this shit ain't cool.
So Jesse,
you know what I mean? So now it's instilled also like, hold on, man, you can't be doing that, man. You can't be beating on women and shit. And how you gonna feel tough beating up somebody you know you could whoop?
Right.
So Jesse Vaughn is in the chat room. Shout out to Jesse.
Women. You know,
she said she stood there because she had texted her son already to bring the heat. What up, Sean? Sean Moore, what it do? Earl said it was a woman who came up with that, I guess. He said that came up with a man should not hit a wonderful woman. It was a woman who came up with that, he's saying. Samantha Collier, I see you, Team Teal. Man, Call to Action Podcast. What up, Samantha? She said, let's go Outlaws. You talk around it. Like I said, historically, we know that we live in a society where women have been, at one point, domestic violence was part of the deal. Like your man could slap you. Your man could, and this ain't that long ago. We talk about 60s, 70s where,
right? Like, I guess closer to 60s, 70s, I guess.
It wouldn't even be, and I can even tell you that in Milwaukee, the domestic violence laws didn't even really get on the books. Where a man would actually, you going to jail if she called and say you hit her. That was about mid to late 80s. Because before that, police come out like you go somewhere, and that's it. Or this is his house. Yeah. So yeah, but in today's society, and I just to say what Kamar said is true historically, but in today's society, shouldn't we as men have more control over ourselves than to just because she says something you don't like to haul off and bust her in there to bow? Like that's not cool. I like even if she's disrespectful.
You right?
I mean, how many times have you gone? I don't know about anybody else. I'm saying I've been places where I've been disrespected by a female before, like not on that level, but just like in general. She gets smart, she rolls her eyes, she says something slick under her breath for no reason a lot of times. And I don't, bitch, what you say? Like who is? That's just not a way we should be.
I mean, it's even like a people thing. It ain't just a man and woman thing. Because even me as a woman dealing with other women, sometimes you want to bust motherfuckers in their shit because just being a person is somebody mistreating you or talking to you crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we can't just go around hitting people now. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that.
Definitely. And we talking from a standpoint, we're all self-aware and mentally healthy to an extent. You know what I'm saying? We not talking about these motherfucking crack babies and grandkids of crack babies and motherfuckers or like even I got a 2-year-old son who, my older boys are 18 and 19. So he's literally raised with nothing but girls. So I got a 4-year-old daughter that she keeps snatching his shit. And I'm like, boy, you don't let nobody take shit from you. Go get your shit back. So I think about my son who's raised in a household where he damn near do gotta protect himself against older sisters. I don't know if that make it easier for niggas to grow up.
No, because that process will change as they get older and he start to grow. That's the natural progression. I didn't have a sister, but most brothers who I know who had sisters that were older was getting smacked around when we were little, and
were they more prone to hit
when his ass got bigger.
Older?
And he started his shoulders spread out, and she tried that shit, and she said, "Oh shit, I can't do that to him no more." You ain't got to tell him go beat her ass. They'll work it out because you have them in a stable environment, so you don't have to really, you it's good that you tell him don't allow anybody take nothing from you, but it'll stop. Trust me, it will stop.
No, I'm saying like now your friends that grew up in the environment like that, were they more prone to violence towards women?
My baby
or
daddy,
was it
emotional intelligence is very low. He is the youngest and the only boy with 2 older sisters, and that nigga acts just like a female. That nigga's a sucker. He gonna try and fight.
Well, wait, did he have a healthy male example of what a man is, or did he just get raised by a woman who could have been potentially petty at times?
And I think
like we
his
got
dad,
strong ass
was
niggas
there.
with feminine mindsets because
Right.
that's all they ever experienced.
Right. And see, real, that's the difference in your situation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's you there. You
Right.
see what I'm
Right.
saying? You're
Right.
giving them a healthy visual of
Right.
what a man is and how a man should act. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right, but for the niggas that ain't got that example, like how do they turn
They
out?
fucked up. You know what I mean? They got to learn from experience or get smart enough to learn from watching another motherfucker.
Right.
Family, this is Samantha. She says it's up talking Kamar. Definitely ain't never ever cool. And women can't hit men either. She said, let's talk about it. It was bad then. Worse now, she says. Purpose over petty. She says we must unlearn unhealthy, welcome in healthy relationships. What's the why behind the violence with both genders? I mean, because I was gonna just say, even as a man, I'm not really one to be standing nowhere arguing with another man.
Right.
I'm not like back in the nigga. What the
right?
And even when before I had my situation, I'm really not arguing with you now. Put a hole in your ass because my back ain't what it was. But even when I wasn't gonna sit there and wait, going back and forth. My thing is to say, all right, bro, you got it.
Right.
I'm gonna
You
walk
got
off.
it, G.
Now I hear what y'all saying about the stable mind thing. I hear what y'all saying about that. But this goes back to this argument we keep having about these badass kids.
Yes.
We are excusing the bullshit that they be on because we keep saying they didn't have no strong man. They ain't had no good environment. These poor kids don't know nothing. Listen, man, you got a built-in sense of right and wrong. Unless you're a complete psychopath, you know certain shit is shit you shouldn't do, whether or not you unstable or not. And if you're that unstable, you don't need to be on the streets. And therefore, some people would say she did the Lord's work because she removed a habitual line stepper from the community. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, because we can go back and forth. The moral of the story is keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't care if you're a stud. I don't care if you a top or a bottom or a front or a back. The minute you cross the line and put your hands on somebody else, you subject to whatever they do to your ass. And there is a such thing as fucking around and finding out.
Right.
And so if you got a long track record of hitting women and that's what you do, you
if fucking around and finding out was a person, that nigga was hit.
He is the poster child.
I mean, and it's just unfortunate that we still succumb to nigga moments. I mean, that could have been diffused on either side if at least one of them motherfuckers had some critical thinking capabilities and conflict resolution skills type shit.
I don't know enough about it to say she didn't because I couldn't really hear what she was saying. And people say, well, what happened before? What happened before? You know, it's one of the things where, okay, so like I said, even if she said something very disrespectful to him, did it deserve for him the way he took off?
Nah, he bombed.
It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I mean, so, you know, it shows that we got some issues in our community that are so far deeper than originally evaluated. And that's from my perspective, because I'm looking at a community right now where people walk around and do all kinds of callous shit to each other. And you got so many people in our community to say, well, that's cool because he didn't have a father, or, oh, he grew up in the hood, or, oh, he got mental health issues. And I'm like, when do we start really accepting bullshit behavior and treating each other like trash and giving excuses? Because when I was growing up, and I want to be one of them dudes, they're back in the day, but my parents always instilled to me, listen, you gonna go out here and you gonna make some decisions in your life. You're gonna make good ones and you're gonna make bad ones. But no matter what, whatever decision you make, your ass is the one who has to pay for it. Whatever the excuse is, I didn't know. Yeah, I know. Robert Harris said, I know. I ain't gonna do it no more. I know you ain't gonna do it no more. And you talking about working the electric chair. Sit your ass down. Bzz. Nobody cares. We just touched on when you go to court, they're not gonna say, how emotional were you that day?
Right.
They say this is the state statute that you violated. That's why they say the state of Wisconsin versus your black ass. Right? They don't care about the color and in between the lines. So I said all that to say I think we need to get back to where tough love and what's right is right. Like, we give ignorant shit now so much patience. We some of the most patient people with ignorant shit or ignorant shit that I've ever seen. We love us some wild ignorant shit. Case in point, the BET Awards last night. I want to talk about the BET Awards. And we ain't gonna go.
Wait, did anybody who all on here watch the BET Awards?
Snippets.
Because I really feel like it was only Kev, so I just figured it would only be you. So okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Kev. I want to make sure it was just you.
No, because
sometime.
Right, because Kamar lives in the podverse with myself, and YouTube is flooded, right? And I know, people.
I saw little Boosie drunk ass.
Right. Seen that clip on Facebook. Yes.
So okay, and this all connects too about our community. So I'm not going away from Milwaukee, because there's still a lot of stuff to talk about in the city. But I do want to talk about the imagery that was presented that I saw from the BET Awards. Now I don't really like award shows anyways. I've never been a person who liked to see, watch award shows and shit, because I'm not really a celebrity. I don't put them on that pedestal. But I think about Black entertainment television, and I think about our culture, and I think about the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Shout out to Geechee Dan from Sirius XM, who does Planet of the Tapes, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. Dope ass conversation about hip hop. But when I looked at the snippets, when I watched it, I didn't feel proud. And I usually love anything that's Black. That's why I watch Tubi all the time. Because if it's Black, I'm with it. Like, I could be like, man, this is Black. I'm watching this. But I just didn't feel a sense of pride. I didn't feel a sense of like, man, look at our culture. Look at the beauty of our culture. What I seen was to me, was faking and posturing and people being celebratory off of the most negative shit you can possibly be celebratory over. Like, I thought it was hilarious when Trick Daddy and Trina came out, and I was saying, is she really gonna say her lyrics from that song?
They're gonna say, Nan. That's what they did.
Right? Yeah, they did that. But I was like, is she really gonna? Because her lyrics in the song are saying how she screws 5-6 dudes at a time, and she'll screw your best friend, and she only wants money, and all that kind of stuff, right? And I was like, but you know what? They was blanking that out. It was just, Nan. I said, okay, yay. Then you had Chief Keef come out. His song was so crazy that you couldn't even hear the song because every other word was bleeped out. I was like, okay. And then I seen this whole stripper culture. I seen the whole stripper culture was in effect, like just for the women to be as ratchet as possible. Just and look, I ain't got nothing against it, right? I ain't got nothing against it. I'm just saying the imagery that I saw, even with them talking about hip hop, it did make me say, man, this is top notch. I feel like this is a
kids. I got a problem. I got a problem with it because our kids is watching this shit, and it's making our kids grow up wanting these same long eyelashes, the same long hair. They painting their face up to where they looking like a whole different person. Yeah, I got a problem with that shit.
Okay.
I think my teenage years started with Nan. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The Yin Yang twins, Nan, and started getting pretty Ricky. They was some sex crazed teenagers, right. And that shit was live, and everybody was listening to it. So it was. It went from freaky. I think we was just freaking. When I was a teenager, we was freaking and sexing, and now it's like being a hoe, getting money while being a hoe. I don't know what it is. But then the guys shaking their hips and shit now, I don't know what's going on with the guys. The whole culture is I don't know where we going.
It's a whole culture. It's a stripper whole culture. It's a dope fiend culture. It's a, and see, I hear women. First of all, you got to look at the fact, and I want to talk about this with Geechee Dan, is that they, according to Billboard, no hip hop album has charted #1 on the charts in 2023, right? Not one. But this is a time when the women say, we're in control. We running the game. We changing the game. But every female rapper raps the same. My titties, my ass, my coochie, give me some money. My coochie, my titties, my ass.
Hey, look, and then let's be real. The only reason that shit running the game is because that's what they signing. That's the only reason they're running the game, because that's what the labels are signing.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, at a time when you have no #1 albums, and I don't hear a dynamic female MC right now who's separating herself like a female Nas, who separates herself from the rest of the pack, or a female who's got this real kind of dope, like real deep flow. Like I kept saying years ago, I did like Megan Thee Stallion because I thought she was kind of clever when she first came out, but I said I was afraid that she would pigeonhole herself with the over sexualized kind of thing, right? And when she was ready to be a serious artist, all they was gonna do is say, "Nah, bend over and twerk. We don't want to hear you rap." So, and it's kind of that's where she's kind of stuck at now, right? Like, so all of these female rappers that I see, none of them to me. Like, we had MC Light, right? MC Light was a great. She was an MC. MC Light wasn't talking about her ass and her. I know things change. First of all, let me say that.
But they're not gonna make any of those mainstream, Kev. There are lots of women that are rappers that are super motherfucking dope, but they're not gonna make the mainstream. They only gonna make Megan Thee Stallions and people for our culture. They're gonna give us that and make that mainstream for us. They're not gonna give us no positivity. Fuck that. Let's rise above, Kev. What?
Well, so but that's the issue with the BET Awards. No, so Courtney, you agreeing with me? Because if those women are out there, if those female MCs are out there, then they should be given some light. Yeah. Just because it was supposed to be about hip hop. And I just, like I said, and it's funny to me that you continuously give Beyonce and Jay-Z awards, they never come. You don't see Denzel Washington, you don't see Viola Davis, you don't see the upper level blue blood black stars there. You see TikTok famous stars, you see Instagram comedians. Like,
maybe a lot of them realize later in their career, like, you know what? That shit's way more cracked up than it really is. Like, it ain't shit, really.
But they go to every other award ceremony, Kamar. They let the white people, the American Music Awards, motherfuckers be in the building like, hey.
But so you know, hey, look, it ain't, and really this shit ain't as big as it used to be. Like, they probably don't even agree with this new hip hop.
Okay.
Why do I want to sit through hours of this madness?
Right. It's like going to the bars in the hood. They don't want to go to the bars.
And the people who I know are quality ain't even getting mentioned. Okay. I'm sitting here for the 15 minutes of the old school hip hop tribute that they gonna do.
Right.
I ain't going to that shit no more either.
I feel like the people, when I look at these shows, I be feeling like they're not really having fun. They forcing themselves because people kind of be standing up, kind of like moving, and then it'd be like, most of these rappers that they have live, they sound horrible. So you couldn't be having, they like, ooh, they getting down. It's like, motherfucker, I can't even hear what you're saying. It's just a whole different time. Dion said he didn't see it. Jesse Paris, he said he didn't see it either. He said, you don't get starstruck. No, I really don't. I'm not one of those dudes. I'm not like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if I was to see somebody who I really respected, that's a celebrity. If I'm going to approach them, it'll be like oh, what up, man? How you doing, man? Man, you be getting it in, and it's out. It ain't no, hey man, let me get a pic. Like it's not. We couldn't do that when I was coming up. The big homies, they seen you do that, man. And don't let my mama see you do it. And she'd be like, you over there kissing ass. My mother hated ass kissers. And she would tell you, I can't stand a motherfucking ass kisser. So we couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't even hardly compliment my brother. She looked at me like, oh, you on his balls? It's like crazy. Like, damn, get your own shit. So, rest in peace to my mom. I miss my mom. Samantha said domestic violence was highlighted. Sad, long song. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that this culture that we celebrate, all that I feel like what we saw at the BET Awards is like the culture. The sad part is it's actually pretty accurate about our community because you got this brother who has this hip hop rap gangster mentality and he is punching their shit. Who cares? And there's people in there. The one brother who was standing there when it went down, he had Black and Mild in his mouth. He got the fuck up out. I don't know. He didn't get the order. He was like, oh shit, time to go.
That's how you do.
He done been, that wasn't his first rodeo. He done been in Chicago a long time. Like, oh shit. He got the fuck out of Dodge. He was not playing.
Hey, he might have seen her son coming.
Yeah.
Maybe so, or he knew. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Shout out to Miss Beverly. She says she enjoyed the old school hip hop. Miss Beverly, we got to get you on because there's a lot going on with MPS. I know you stay on their heels. And a lot of stuff going on in the city. I really was hoping Ruben Anderson would tune in tonight because I seen him getting at the NAACP, and I wanted to know. He was talking about snatching their nonprofit status here in Milwaukee. And I see you, Miss Bev. You just did an interview with the ladies from the NAACP, so we got to get you on. Yeah, old school hip hop is cool, but I feel like when I look at some of the old rappers, I get why they are there. I get why they are there, right? Like, I got to go get this. I'm trying to get my streaming up, but it just don't even really fit because can today's rap fans actually even appreciate Kane? Can they appreciate Melly Mel? I don't think they can. I don't think they can. I think they look at that like highly old motherfuckers. I don't think they understand the validity of the music, you know, that it once held. Rap right now, hip hop does not hold the same kind of reverence that it once did. It is people for the culture, the culture. Yeah, no. What's the culture? You know,
Right, that
what
ain't
we say,
culture.
culture
Shit.
of dysfunction. Right, that's what we
Right.
always used to say, right, Kamar? This is the culture of dysfunction in the community.
Right.
That's always been my social theory, right? Where you can do anything to anybody and make up an excuse as to why you were justified. Why you bust his head? Man, I never had an uncle. What? I never had his uncle and it triggered me. Po Kev, fuck him laying over on the ground with his head split open. It's just this shit that we as black people do because we want to make excuses. I gotta say this shit out loud. We want to make excuses for how fucked up we are. We look for these excuses. And if you see a man punch a woman in her face hard as he can twice, it don't matter what the fuck transpired before. It don't matter what was his state of mind. Obviously, it was bad. He punched.
Right.
That wasn't his first time hitting a woman. You could tell by the way he said. That's why when he told her, she don't even know. When I say shut the fuck up and don't say nothing else, the girl with the phone should have said, "Girl, just be quiet. Trust me," but she didn't.
Hey, she was a horrible girlfriend, dog.
Right.
Horrible girlfriend.
She
was supposed to stop it.
She should have
doing something stupid.
She should have.
Especially if she know how that shit feel.
Yeah, she know he'll whoop a little ass. So she should.
But what if it's that she didn't say nothing because she knows if she would have said something, he probably would have bust her shit. Maybe that's why she was. But she was egging it on. It's different if she was standing there not saying nothing, recording, but they said she was egging it on and shit. So I don't know. I don't know too much about that part, but yeah, who knows? He might have been silent because he might have turned on her. What you say, bitch?
Right. You might have gave her that look that you see in that meme, that Ike Turner look like. I ain't got nothing to say, baby. Go home, slap her. Like,
this is a big ass unfortunate event that affected a few lives.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bunch of families affected by this now. Please, this is Paris Rashawn. He said, please join us Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific. It's 8 p.m. Central. On Blog Talk Radio. You see the number. You press 1. You'll be on live. That's Shabaka Sankor, the resurrection of the mentally dead, Frontline Black News, and the revolutionary agenda. Alicia Mullins, how you doing, my sister? She said, I separate myself from everybody. Hey, y'all, long time.
Peace.
Yes, welcome back to the show. Let me see. Samantha Collier says, higher ups, Eagles versus chickens. Eagles versus chickens. Okay. Miss Beverly said, I said the same thing. Why didn't Beyonce come get her award? She could have pre-recorded her response because they don't value it. They don't value it. Look, listen. I seen
ain't even black no more, is it?
I seen Ryan Davis.
Bought it, didn't he?
So
say that again.
I thought Tyler Perry just bought it.
Well, I don't know what the details is. They said he seized control, and even if he did,
Boosie said he got personally invited.
His mark ain't gonna be on it just yet.
Hey, Boosie said he got personally invited by Tyler Perry.
See, so maybe it'll be better next year. Maybe
so. But next year might be the Medea Awards. You know, next year might be you know.
Add a lot of Does it have like movie slot? Right now it's just music, correct? Or does it have?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the BT Music Awards.
Oh yeah,
right?
See, he might go ahead and add some, actors and actresses. He got all them different shows and. It might turn to an
But I don't want to see his actors up there either. Because that shit.
What he gonna do? He got to give them awards. They gonna be up there. That's
some shucking and jiving too, though. I watch a lot of Tyler Perry productions. I mean, look, big up to a black man doing his thing, but I see some shuffling sometimes. I'm just saying. And I love Meet the Browns. I got my guilty pleasure is what's it? House of Pain. It's so because it's so shuffleish. Sometimes I have to even laugh. Like, wow.
I've never liked Alan Payne all my life. Any movie he done been in, from Jason's Lyric to Blue Hill Ave, I've never liked that Negro. Oh my life.
Yeah, he's just always been a light-skinned dude who be in movies. Like nobody's ever said that's their favorite actor. Like
I
you
don't
know
know
who
what
can
it
act?
is
Alan
about him. I
Payne.
don't like him.
Nobody ever says that though. You know that Alan Payne a bad motherfucker. Because I don't watch. What's my man name who was on The Wire? He's been in all the movies. Wood Harris. I say Wood Harris. He a bad motherfucker. He can act. I've never said that about Alan Payne. Like
Alan
oh shit,
Payne
Alan
always
Payne
gonna
in
have a
this shit.
job because Alan Payne always gonna have a job because that's G money.
Right, that's true too. Thank
G
you.
Money,
Okay.
man.
That's what it is. He's G Money.
I think
right.
he playing G Money right now on Broadway. Like I think they turned New Jack City into a stage play.
They did.
And he playing G Money on that shit.
Hey, why not, man? You better get that money.
Get
I got a
your
mortgage.
Right.
Okay.
Mama, I said Mama. Miss Beverly Williams. She said they also walked around too much, and the show did not have seat fillers. That was absolutely ridiculous. This was done when people were talking. I just felt like it was just a low budget. Like, and then I seen the red carpet and some of the outfits people. Once again, I know I'm young. I know I'm old, not young. I know I'm old. I'm old school, right? I still crease my khakis. But some of the shit I seen the dudes wearing on the red carpet, I'm like, what the fuck was you thinking? Like this is the whole homosexual fashion designer influence on fashion is crazy. They got you dudes running around. I mean, they showed a picture, and I don't know if this was at the awards or what, but it was a picture I seen on Facebook of Pharrell and one of the Migo dude, Offset.
Yeah, man, I seen that shit.
I mean, he looked like an old lady, and Pharrell looked like a lady. I'm like, okay, this is where we at. I'm just uncomfortable with a lot of the imagery that they put out here for us. Samantha says, still sad. We got to do better. Yes, we do.
They're not gonna let us see no healthy shit and no black excellence. they need this, like whether it's the music, like even like you said with the music is preaching violence, debauchery, self-destructive behavior, and then it's having motherfucking women objectified and cool to objectify themselves. Telling you how they pussy look. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you get to seeing a motherfucker no longer as a human and as just some property or some shit, we can't trip about the shit we see now because these motherfuckers were indoctrinated into dysfunction.
Right.
That's true. And I want to address that too, because you just made a good point. Jesse Parrish says he doesn't believe they can relate to the old school hip hop either. He said he's 36. Hip hop turns 50 in 2 months. I just think that for us, it was the first time we ever seen it. It was the first time you ever heard it. And so for it to be creative was what you had to do. Now it's like a normal thing. So what you trying to do is sound like somebody else. Whatever's selling, that's what you want to sound like. It ain't no, well, I want to do it this way. No, you're going to do it this way. But shout out to Killer Mike, because I've been digging at scientists and engineers with Andre 3000 and Future on there. I'm talking about that's a deep dive right there. I don't even like Killer Mike, but I'm like, yo, he hit with this one. So I guess the spirit of that is still here.
I like Killer Mike.
They won't show it to us though. They like we're saying, this is the product that they put out, and I think the people involved never stop to say what effect I'm really having on my own people. Because if you a sister and you a young lady and you got a lot of young ladies looking up to you, and you out here with just whatever, you bent over on stage, pulling your cheeks apart, and so there's no stopping those little girls from saying, I guess that's what I'm supposed to do if I want a man to notice me. But I also want to say this, just because we live in this age of being sex positive, right? It doesn't mean somebody has the right to disrespect you, right? So there's a line where we say it's okay for women to be more sex positive now than they've ever been. It's okay for women to express their sexuality. Hell, men on rap and hip hop been saying the most nastiest shit for 30 years. So you don't get me complaining necessarily about that. My only issue is for every Too Short, there was a Q-Tip, right? And for every Luke, there was a Rakim or a Brand Nubians or Poor Righteous Teacher, right? So there was a balance. There was once a balance in hip hop where you could get this. You can go extremely ratchet, or you could be really conscious and socially positive, and that kind of thing. That has disappeared. So now all you see is the most wretchedest of the wretchedest. Like my son's 16. I listen to music. I listen to his music because I try to gauge where his outlook is. And sometimes I just have to stop and say, dude, do you even understand what they're saying? It's like he's 16 and I'm hearing, and he loves it. He knows it word for word. He could walk around and he don't know nothing about no switches and no pills and no drink. But he's saying all these lyrics. I'm like, dude, you ain't never seen none of that in your life. But this is the influence.
That's the goal of the music industry. That's the actual goal of the music industry. Because what a lot of people don't understand is when you whatever you say out your mouth is an affirmation, whether positive or negative. So when you say that shit out your mouth, it registers into your subconscious. Most of us who are healthy never act on it, but it's there. And that's what the record labels is banking on, to get niggas to do criminally minded shit so that they can make that money off the music and the prison industrial complex, and to get these women to view their own selves as property and use your pussy to get ahead, so that now, like now we got an epidemic of motherfuckers dying from these ass implants and shit, like, you know, and it's because now, just like we used to put our value in the cars and the clothes and shit, women are putting their value in their desirability, and a lot of them is willing to put their life on danger for it, which, again, I believe benefits the record label some kind of way.
Yeah, I understand it. I understand cultural homogenization. I really do. And I'm not one of them old dudes who want to try to talk down on every time the young people do something. I'm not the old man who got to fuck their party up. I'm just saying, it's there's no balance, and I wish there were more balance, right? And if you use your body to get your money, get your money. If that's you living the whole life, hoe up. Go ahead.
You know, one of the differences also, though, one of the things on why I feel like we can say something or we should speak up now is because we went through that area, so we seen the damage that it do to the community. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can disagree now because I understand what it's doing. I seen it happen once already, and it's only worse now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like I can disagree. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's fucked up though, and I'm gonna just, all right, this is a transparent moment. I told my lady the other day, I said, damn, even me trying to be aware of my thoughts, I said, I see how myself have been influenced by the media. I said, when I see two young niggas with a Pooh Shiesty mask or a hoodie on their head and it's 80 degrees, I'm automatically like, oh, these niggas on dirt. Where my strap? You know, I'm like, damn, even I started to view young black men as potential threats. And I'm like, damn, the fucked up part is I know it's media driven, but what make it even more fucked up is I might still be right that these niggas on dirt. Why the fuck you wearing a hood over your head and it's 89 degrees?
Right.
Let me tell you something. If you in the inner city, you see a group of 4, 5, 6, 7 young black males walking down the street, they on some bullshit. Now, I said that because I've been one of them.
Yeah.
They're not walking like, hey man, let's go by the church and say a couple prayers or do a couple Hail Marys and get back. They looking for some shit to get into. Right? That's what you do in the concrete jungle. You roam. And it's coincidental that you said that because my wife expressed to me she was a little disappointed in herself because she's seen young black men walking before and thought they on some bullshit. Not her in her words, but she'd say, they're up to no good. But I say they on some bullshit. So you ain't wrong. And you should be aware. Keep your head on a swivel because when you say, they wouldn't do that, that's when they had a shit in your face like,
right.
This motherfucker.
You know, that's also a real, that's also your higher self protecting you from what could happen.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean?
Because one day I ain't going to
everybody don't see that shit.
Niggas went in with a Pooh Shiesty mask and sure as shit, I seen them running out that motherfucker with a arm full of shit. And I'm like, I could have been in there with them stupid niggas.
Juneteenth, we seen how them young folks was moving.
Right.
And we got up out of there.
Right.
That shit happened right where our booth was.
Right.
You know
I
what I mean?
remember you
So,
said that.
so like you gotta honor that, man. You know what I mean? This is your higher self speaking to you. That ain't you speaking. I mean, that ain't you thinking bad about nobody, but you know what I mean? Yo, you on point.
Yeah, I'm watching your little young ass. I'm watching you. I see
Right,
y'all
right.
over
You know
there.
what I mean?
Well, they say I
'Cause
see you with your
before
looking
you
ass.
even have to pull a pistol or something, you know what I mean? You could just walk somewhere, do something to eliminate that situation. If you see it before, you know what I mean? If you could see it. So, you know what I mean? Honor that and give thanks in the end.
For sure.
Miss Beverly, she says the Milwaukee Common Council had a public hearing for the shared revenue plan at 9:30 today, and many did not know about it. It's ridiculous with those apartheid stipulations with those sales taxes. Let me know when you want me to come on and we can talk about it. I will definitely get you on the calendar. But you know, I posted information about the Milwaukee Common Council has now come to the decision that they are going to vote and approve the 2% sales tax hike, but they're also going to sue the state for the stipulations that were included in this whole deal, right? And so we'll see how far this goes. Unfortunately, the city of Milwaukee is in a precarious situation financially, allegedly, according to them, in which this is a necessity. Like, this has to be done, but I just don't quite understand. And so I seen that Mayor Johnson has also been very vocal against this and stating that, you know, how he felt like it was based on racism and he's just all kinds of different stuff. So I don't think it's necessarily that he agrees with it, because I did last week. I said I'd just like to know what his opinion is. I haven't heard him speak negatively, but apparently he has. I guess he's gone on record as saying he is against the stipulations. So we'll see how this turns out with them suing. But they have voted that, I mean, they have decided that they're going to move forward with it. But some of the stuff is just ridiculous. Like, you go and read it, right? Like, and you can tell that this is written by a racist pen. Right? It don't take too long. Like, you get to paragraph 2 and you like, that's some bullshit.
They trying to bleed us out, man.
This is another reason why black people in Milwaukee say to hell with voting, because they'll go and concoct some shit like this in Madison and shoot it through before you even know what's really good. It's already a law, right? They playing above your head. You usually say they play in your face, but they're playing above your head, really. And if you don't look up, you're not gonna see it. So this is gonna be very interesting. How they'll go about this lawsuit. Let me see. Earl Henning says she happy now he can't beat on her no more. He's talking about the young man's girlfriend. Let me see. Jesse Parrish, he says Tyler has to pay $3 billion. They still ain't closed the deal. Okay.
$3 billion.
Let me see. He said he might be working with former comedian Byron Allen. Byron Allen should have been the chief up front with this anyway.
I heard Byron Allen was in on that too. It's somebody else. It's another somebody. It's a third party too, I think. I forgot.
Yeah, we got enough black billionaires. I mean, Puffy could if he wasn't chasing young girls all over Miami, talking about act bad.
Young boy.
You 55 years old, act bad.
Or young rappers.
Right. I mean, he ain't just the one girl that he just act bad. I'm like, okay, that's really what y'all want? Act bad? Is that what we should be telling the kids? Act bad? Whatever. I'm turning into that old cantankerous dude. Turn that shit off. That's the devil's music. I'm turning into that dude I don't want to be. They're making me do it. He said he brought the griot and the Weather Channel. Yeah. We know Byron Allen has been very, very active, and he's a very wealthy brother. And they conspired against him and his ability to purchase more channels, but he just keep on hustling, keep doing it. Let me see. Erica Hunt, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Outlaw Radio, live from the basement. Number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Y'all can call in. Chat room is popping. Samantha Collier says, men wearing purses, I will not accept that behavior. Listen, how many sisters out there right now? And this is a good question. I'm glad you said that, Sister Collier. How many of you straighten your sons out? Whether his father's there or not. When you see him doing something feminine, how many of y'all really straighten him out? Yeah. You say, hey, boy, don't be doing that shit. You ain't no girl, you know. Because I'll see my wife check my son. Hey, hold on now. That ain't masculine. You better go talk to your daddy. And he like, oh shit, here we go. I'm finna get this speech. I'm saying, an hour, young man. You know it's coming. It's damn sure coming, right? But how many sisters do that? Who got young men who are, or do you just allow him to be overly emotional? I said, girl, that's just how he is. Instead of saying, you a man, you ain't supposed to be acting like that, goddamn it. You wearing a purse for. Like it's cool. Courtney, you the black woman on the panel, so I would say you have sons.
I got 3 boys, and so I don't. Of course, I let them be in tune with their emotions and express themselves, but we're not just gonna do a whole bunch of crying. Like my oldest, I remember when he was young, he'd cry anywhere. And it's like, hey man, when you just gonna cry in front of everybody? So you don't care who around, so you just gonna cry wherever. Okay. So then he got over it, Now my youngest 2 are younger, 6 and 8, so they pretty much keep it strong, but they will bust out. But I do. Whenever I see something feminine going on, we want to watch a feminine show, a little girly show. We want to play the little girly game. Hey man, no, let's play something else. Play with cars. let's
right. And I don't want to limit it. I don't want to limit it to just crying, because we've heard the story over and over again how men, it's okay for a man to cry. You be in touch with your emotions. But I'm saying to be super emotional about everything is, a little boy shouldn't be that way. Right now, my son, like you stated, when he was a baby, and I was so happy I had this boy, I was like, I got me a boy. Hey, where you? He ain't want shit to do with me. Like, then just a little motherfucker. Go on with your mama, right? And so, but like you said, he got to about 3, and he's like, nah, I rock with dude. And then ever since then, we've been straight. But I was a little worried for a minute, because he was, yeah. I'm like, dude, I grabbed holding him, he started crying. He wanted his mama. My daughter was totally different. She ain't want nothing to do with her mom. She like, nah, I'm chilling with Pop. I don't care. What's up, Pop? What we watching? So I'm thinking he really gonna be down. But so I'm not against them knowing about how to be in touch with their emotions, but to be overly emotional, like you said, to for years and years be allowed to do feminine things with no straightening, then that leads to him, and he might not be gay, but he acts effeminate when he gets older. And the way he deals with situations, y'all was just talking about conflict resolution, he deals with it like a woman. Now, there's no knock on women, right? I'm just saying women are emotional. They are emotional. And if you ever got into it with your girl or your woman and she was emotional, didn't matter what you said. There was nothing that you could say. You just got to leave, or just shut up and listen, right? There's some men who are that way. Where it's like, dude, what we used to call it, Kamar? We used to say, get out your fag body. Remember, you can't say that no more to kids now, but back in the days, you say that to a dude who was overly emotional, like, thought you all in your fag body. It used to be crazy. You are live on Outlaw Radio. Who's this on the line? This number looks unfamiliar.
Yeah, it should look familiar. This your girl Erica Hunt on the line, calling in for the mommy.
Okay.
I just wanted to touch in on the emotional part. Like, I got 1 son and 3 girls. And my son is 7 years difference between my girls and himself, right? So, and my oldest daughter. So no, I didn't allow my son to be just overly emotional. But when he was first born, I used to play this hey boy game with him, where whenever I see him, I'd be like, hey boy. And he'll be like, what up, mama? And at first, when he was a little baby, it started out as, hey, mama, a little soft. But then eventually, as time grew on, I heard the bass in his voice. And it went from, hey, mama, to what up, mama? You know what I'm saying? But with my girls, I don't let them do that overly emotional shit either. And they stay crying in here. They sound, from time to time, they sound like a choir full of criers. And I'd be like, shut that shit up, because don't nobody want to hear that. But in reality, the world not embracing all that extra emotional, I'm traumatized, tragic type energy anyway. So I've been teaching my kids and my nieces and nephews since they was young that it's a time and a place for everything. But overly, excessively crying about shit, no, learn how to control your emotions and use your words. Use your words was one of the biggest sayings to my kids. Use your words. Tell me why you feel that way. And it helped them solve out their problems. But as my son reached that preteen age, he started shutting down on me, because we would say, hush that shit up. Woo, woo, you a boy, get over it. We would push that issue. And I had to identify as a parent that my son was keeping in all his emotions, and his grandmama died, his stepdaddy left, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, he, you know what I'm saying, unemotional. He ain't showing no emotions. What's up? And when it wasn't until his 5th grade graduation that he really just broke down, and I had to really talk to him. And that's when I found out like all of this stuff was piling up on him. And he wasn't showing no emotions until he punched a little nigga in the face at school.
And that's where it usually manifests at. Yeah, that's where it usually comes out. And once again, this ain't about me telling somebody how to raise their kids. I don't want nobody to get that twisted, because what worked for me might not work for you. What I'm saying is, I felt like with my son, right? Like, I felt like it's okay for you to be emotional, but not like so to the point where you can't get it together, right? Like, and there's certain things as a man that you got to eat up, because, and pause, no homo, I mean, because you're gonna have to take some bumps and bruises for your family. As a man, you got to be the one who's willing to take the first sacrifice. If somebody gonna take a bump, I'm a volunteer to go first, right? Like, so, and I gotta play while I'm hurt. I gotta keep moving when I might be feeling a certain kind of way, but I still got to get up and go to work. My leg, arm, neck might be hurting, back, whatever. I can't even focus on it. I got to keep it moving. And I wanted him to be tough in that way, not necessarily a piece of stone where I'm just, we ain't gonna cry. Look, I cried at my grandmother's funeral. I cried at my cousin's funeral. And my parents saw me cry. My father never said, stop that crying. There was, like you said, there was a time and place for that. But now, when we used to watch the movie Old Yeller, put my brother on blast. My brother couldn't watch an animal movie where the animal died and not cry, right? So when he was young, he watched, especially if it was a dog, because that dude always loved dogs. And we watch Old Yeller. When Old Yeller get the bullet at the end, my brother would have a breakdown. No, they didn't have to kill him. Until my father just was he was witness to this one day and say, hey man, hold on, man. That ain't even real. The hell you crying about? Ain't even real. You don't cry over no damn movie like that. Now, was he still emotional about his dogs? Yeah. When one of his dogs in real life died, yeah, he cries. He gets sad, but he never cried over Old Yeller again because my father straightened that out. Like, that ain't what you, this ain't the time for you to be doing that shit, right? So a lot of times it's important for you to also instruct your son, especially when losses are happening, or your daughter. Baby, I just want to know how you feel about it. Because the one thing I don't want you to do is walk around here holding this shit in and went out here and did something crazy. And I've always had those conversations with my kids as well. Like, well, shit, y'all, hey, let's talk about it. Because I don't want y'all, I don't need no little serial killer walking around the house while I'm trying to sleep at night and shit. I got too many weapons in my house. I need for you to have balance to your emotions. So you're not wrong. Nobody's wrong. I mean, you do the best you can. Let me see. I got the chat room popping. Miss Beverly says, I enjoyed the music and the stage graphics were excellent. I love old school rap and hip hop. It came out during my era. Busta Rhymes also introduced a new rap style at the show for the youngins. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch Busta's piece. Busta Rhymes is okay. People, they idolize. He's okay. He has had his moments. He's not one of my go-to favorites. He deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award. If you've been in this cutthroat music industry for 30 plus years, you deserve that. But I just don't, people put more on, like, Busta Rhymes. I'm like, okay. I've been listening to Busta Rhymes since Leaders of the New School. So, and he was absolutely the best one in their group. So yeah, but he deserved it. He said, this is Jesse Parrish, said that new Michael album by Killer Mike is empowering. I gotta admit, I didn't hear the whole thing, but if I hear scientists and engineers, see, all I listen to is satellite radio, right? Like when I'm riding around in my car. I do not listen to 98.3 or 100.7 or 860 or whatever radio stations are in Milwaukee. I don't listen to them. They programming is trash, point blank, period. And their music is too. I said it. Come see me. I listen to satellite radio and I hear this Killer Mike. I keep hearing, I seen snippets of his interview talking about he got Andre 3000 to rap again. And so I've been hearing it and now it's really starting to grow on me. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and get the album now. I'm probably gonna get it, check it out, or at least go see, on my Prime Music and see what they have. But it sounds pretty dope. He said he got more music with Andre 3000. in the vault. Erica Hunt said they gave you a reason to feel that way. It's not just media. She just hung up too. I meant to get her some clarity on that. Dion says, I feel you. I'm so behind in my chat room. Crystal Ship.
The Pooh Shiesty mask and shit.
Okay. Crystal Ship, I see you. Control C in the building. Crystal Ship is in the building. Shout out to her. Erica said, facts, Kamar, my higher self got me out of Juneteenth just in time. That's what Kamar said. He said his higher self got me.
Yeah, you got to learn how to listen. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as when people say, you know, God told me. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Or something told me. Something told me.
You know what I mean? That's that God. That's that God talking to you, man. That God energy telling you what to do.
Yeah, that instinct, man.
Energy telling you where to move. You know what I'm saying?
Spidey sense get to tingling.
Yeah, and we got to learn how to listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
But I've done that in the hood before, where I was somewhere and I said, man, let me move around. And almost as soon as I left, like maybe I went around the block and came back, and police everywhere, or something had happened. I'm like, I just literally left that motherfucker. So yeah, you got to read the room, Kamar. That was your ghetto intuition saying, nah, this is something to happen down here. Let's move around, baby.
Look, that's another reason why they say, man, you know, you got to honor all the shit you go through. You know what I mean? That was a bunch of bullshit, that street shit, but you know what I mean? It taught me a lot to help me evolve into who I am now.
Right.
Okay. And you see that they arrested this young fella, 15 years old, who allegedly, or I guess factually, was on the bracelet for a prior gun case. See, so here we go again with this habitual line stepper that we say, and it's 15. You don't know no better. You don't need to be in jail. And what Kamar said, that the kids was acting up, and when the police went to do their job, you had all these super capitalistic expiala Negroes talking about leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Go talk to them damn kids. What you talking to the cops about?
And then look what happened after y'all told the police to leave him alone.
Right.
I ain't saying that they left him alone or nothing because y'all said that, but you know what I mean? It's the type of shit that goes on.
But that be our attitude, and I understand why, because police, you know, known to fuck up when it's a black person involved. Somebody ain't actually wake up dead the next day. Like, we didn't know. I thought it was my taser. Fuck, you thought your taser was a fucking 9mm Sig Sawyer. What was you doing? He ain't even shaped the same. Beverly Williams said lawsuits take too long while black folks remain oppressed. Wisconsin has a $7 billion surplus. We will talk. And I've talked about that surplus on here. Man, thank you, Miss Beverly.
I've spoken
about that surplus on here.
All you gotta do is legalize weed so our money stop going to Illinois and Michigan.
Well, or either bring back residency requirements so those 3,000 city workers who live outside of Milwaukee can pay their tax revenue and give it to the city.
That'll help
too. Suburbs.
Hey, that'll help
that.
Yeah. Shit. It's just a whole bunch of other shit we could have done besides saying, we'll give you this money, but you got to get rid of DEI training. That shit just smell. It smell like racism.
Right.
It's just like, damn, man, that reeks. So that's a hidden agenda. That's a hidden agenda this state has, the Republicans have, to fall in line with, let's make information illegal. This shit is a little too wide open. We got to do what we used to do. We got to limit how much we can let these motherfuckers read. We already got a school system that's producing very low literacy rates. And what did they do? Even the public school teacher, favorite Evers, now private schools will get more money. Voucher program is getting expanded through this, right? And so what does that do to public school? Listen, my son doesn't go to MPS. People get on me about that all the time. Like, you talk all that black shit. You showed up and shit care of the MPS. You goddamn right I did. Damn right I did. And it wasn't just because white ice is colder. It's because I know the difference between what she said, an eagle and a chicken. Shout out to Samantha Collier. I know the difference between the two. I taught for MPS. I worked in integral roles in MPS. I know how the average building function. It wasn't a good fit for my son. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that for you. That's not in your future. But that's going to further deteriorate the quality of MPS because more and more people are going to take their kids out. People are going to say, but then you know what happens? then the private schools become hellholes because you're gonna dump all this ghetto foolishness and all these habitual line stepper juniors on them. Let me see. Crystal Ship said it was dope seeing you out the basement and at the Sherman Phoenix. It felt dope. That was a dope interview. Go check that interview out. It's on my time. I tried to put that everywhere I could. We had a great time, man. We had a great time. It was fun, man. We got to get out Outlaw style and do some panels somewhere, man, and really shine for the people. It was dope though. Shout out to them sisters. It was man. It was cool. I had a good time. Yeah. Go check that interview out. It's dope. Samantha Collier says definitely Africa a whole mini king, her son. That's her son, correct? Balance. Okay, I don't want to be saying so. Dang, my son named Alvin. Oh, I thought you. I'm joking. I know. She said, I think teaching your kids, this is Crystal Ship. I think teaching your kids how to navigate emotions is vital. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because emotional maturity is so important. This is why you get to this. If I can't have you, won't nobody have you. Bitch, I beat your head. Like these are. I thought what was very, very transparent about Dion calling earlier, saying that he once was a victimizer, is that he said he understood that he was insecure, jealous, overbearing, and he said it took him a long time to forgive himself. I thought that was very telling, right? Like, because, if you can't manage your emotions, you end up like that. You end up jealous. Like I have to manage my emotions. I can't get so gone that I think she cheating on me that I'm following her around or I'm smelling her underwear or something like that. Like dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, and so you got to be able to manage your emotions, man.
I mean, but he still got this mindset of shit. Who said we ain't supposed to hit women? So I don't know if they just all the way feel like he might smack the shit out you still. Like what? He like talking about him being a real nigga shit in front of him. He might.
Hey, put it like this: if he say on my mama, don't say nothing else.
Right, you might want to walk away. That's what you better walk away.
Yeah, okay, baby. Right. You might say what? I told you don't say nothing. God damn, what the fuck? Like,
exactly.
I used to have that problem with my brother when we was younger and we get into an argument. He said, "Don't say nothing else to me." Well, I ain't done talking. I'm telling you, man. That's what I said. Don't say nothing else to me. I said, man, you better get the fuck. And then we moving furniture. Here we go. You don't tell me I can't say. You done said what you gonna say, and then tell me I can't say nothing else. Man, put your dukes up, as they used to say. You're right, Crystal. Emotion doesn't equate to feminine, and I hope that's not what people think I meant. I'm saying for a man to be hypersensitive and super emotional is a feminine quality. It's a feminine. It's a feminine. To see a man who's he said it's like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? Come on, bro. Like we have to process differently as men. We have to process differently. I don't care what nobody say. To carry this burden of being a black man, you got to have one hell of a processing unit. Because there's so many. You walk out the house in the morning, it's so many goddamn people tugging at you.
There's a lot of shit I'm still trying to figure out how to process. I walk away from situations trying to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? We got to be able to be honest about it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I'm getting an echo. You gotta turn your device down. Go ahead, come on. I'm sorry.
We got to be able to be honest about that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And try to figure out a way to get it out, whatever it is.
Get you some hobbies. I got a daughter, man. And if my daughter called me and tell me, Daddy, he just punched me in my eye, I'm not gonna say, well, baby, he didn't have no father, so it's okay. But baby, maybe he ain't mentally right. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm on my way and I'm locked and loaded. Your ass is gonna be hell to take to the captain when I get there for hitting my goddamn daughter. I don't give a fuck if you didn't know your daddy. I don't care if your mama left you in a bucket in Washington Park and you got found by some homeless midgets. I don't give a shit. You will fuck around and find out that night when you put your hands on my daughter. But at the same time, what do I tell my daughter? What do my wife and I tell her what to look for in a positive relationship? Hopefully she won't put herself in that. But good girls like bad boys sometimes. Dion be the one who you get a good girl. And he teach her. When Dion say be quiet, be quiet. Yeah, and get physical. I said, shut up, right? You want fries or not? Oh, whatever you get, baby. Whatever you get. All right.
Whatever you like.
Right. I'm joking about it. This shit ain't funny. Sharon Evans said, I think men don't remember they were babies once. Babies cry and whine. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think most men, I think we do remember. My mama, listen, she was very protective. I talk about how tough she was. She was very protective of me too, as well. Like you couldn't fuck with anybody outside the house. You fuck with me, she'd burn the shit down. But
hey,
and she wanted me, my baby. She cut my food up and like when I remember I got married and my mother cut my food up and my wife was looking at her like, this shit got to stop right here. This ain't gonna happen. I'm like, what? That's how she would cut my food up before I eat it. You know what I'm saying? My mama loved me. So, but my wife was like, no, you got to cut the cord, bro. You got a whole wife now. You can't do that. I'm like, damn. Go ahead.
I feel like crying is releasing that harbored energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you cry, you're releasing that harbored energy that you hold in.
You know what? I actually stopped fucking with a woman. Well, it wasn't just how she raised her child. That had something to do with it. But I watch all that shit. And I used to notice that when fucked up thing is she rich now too. But anyway. But no, I used to peep how like when he was playing games with my kids and shit, like she'd be on his ass if he was like sad because he just lost or crying because something happened. You a man, you a boy, don't be doing that punk shit. But when he walked and bumped past her and shit, and I'm like, hey, you gonna address that or should I? Well, he just upset right now. So sometimes we gotta figure out, and I'm like, damn, nah. I said, you raising a psychopath. You teach this motherfucker to be aggressive, but he better not cry while he killing somebody. I said, no, I ain't about to stick around with that because either I'm gonna have to whoop his ass or some shit like I got him acting right and he knew how to act when he was around me, but his mama still was getting ran over by him. So my thing, I think we need to kind of sit down and understand what is feminine, what is masculine, what's acceptable and what ain't. Because like on some real shit, I mean, I'm a Taurus. I mean, I'm, when it comes to that, I'm real tapped into my emotions and I do cry. I mean, shit, let me cut on the 5 heartbeats and I hear, I feel like, go ahead. I'm like, oh, shit. Go ahead, Eddie Kane.
Don't do that shit around me. You better not cry over that shit. We not cool no more.
Shit.
Not smoking with you no more. Sean Mo on the jack. What up, Sean? You crying over 5 heartbeats too, or what?
Yeah, it don't stop me from feeding my kids. It don't stop me from protecting my babies. So like my thing is, we look at shit like that as feminine.
Brought Sean in.
But then, like to me, a lot of shit that niggas is cool with is bitch shit to me, like lying and sneaking. Like I've never been on no cheat shit because in order to cheat, I would have to lie or sneak, and both of them shits beneath me to me. Like to me, that's bitch shit. Stealing is bitch shit. Like, but we like, oh, that's just don't cry while you do the shit. So I think we need to come to the table and kind of figure out what.
I don't think nobody said don't cry though. That's one thing. Nobody on this panel said don't cry.
No, it was the overly emotional. I get like I don't do whining like my son too. He a titty baby. He's still breastfed. And when I catch him, it's like, hey man, okay, what's wrong? Tell daddy what's wrong. Okay, you want the toy? Okay, why can't you have the toy? Okay, your sister took it. Why are you letting somebody take shit from you? Go back and get that toy like I told you. But we gonna work through his shit. You know what I'm saying? But he is emotional. He do whine, and I'm working on him with that. But
he's too.
I think so, right. But I mean, think
damn, let him some
people get it twisted though, and they raising psychopaths because they let the wrong shit slide because they too hyper observant for the other shit that may be irrelevant.
Sean, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. What's cracking with you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Just on the elevator right now. I'm about to mute you. So I get off the elevator.
Right. Okay. Call me on the elevator. I'm calling while I'm on the elevator. I'm calling. That's some Sean motion, right? Oh, on the elevator. No, your signal ain't gonna be clear. Get this chat room, man. Shout out to y'all for rocking with us on Outlaw Radio, man. Damn, time flies. 9:07. Let's see. Crystal Ship. She says this air of men are just as emotional, which is why they are ready to snap off when a woman leaves them. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. If she says she leave, I can get you saying, come on, baby, don't do that. Let's try, but I'm gonna kill you, or bitch, you ain't going nowhere. Come on, like you doing that's a little overboard. Sharon Evans said no emotions equal sociopath. And once again, I hope people aren't thinking that we're saying that boys shouldn't have emotions. I'm just saying you should learn how to manage them, so that you can navigate normal life situations.
Right.
Crystal
Don't fall
Ship
on the
says,
flow boo-hooing and shit when it's time to get shit done. Like I tell my
you
kid,
have to teach them skills to release the emotions without being overly emotional, if that matters. Mama Jenkins, how you doing? Hey, I want to make sure everybody on the line turns down their device because I don't want to get an echo. Mama Jenkins, she says, good evening, my outlaw family. You got to put boys in the boys' place. Women got to teach boys how to grow up to be men. I always said I don't like crybabies. So if you fall down, get your behind up and try again. Sharon Evans says you have to teach young children to manage emotions. We agree. How you doing, my sister? She said, what's going on? Erica Hunt said, who is the habitual line stepper? Habitual line stepper. That was the dude who was walking around punching females and then he punched the wrong one in Chicago or whoever is, doing this kind of crazy shit. I was talking about the little 15-year-old. I said he was a little junior habitual line stepper because he was only 15, already had a case and was on a bracelet and had another pistol. Crystal Ship said we weren't even gone 20 minutes before we got calls about fights. After making it to the garden, we got a call saying they started shooting. I will say Juneteenth was dope while I was there. And we talked about that last week. She said she's okay. That's y'all talking about hair. Okay. White Constant Earl Henning said. She said my kids don't. This Erica. She said my kids don't go to MPS. I know what they did to my class, and I seen how they do the teachers. Alexandria Brewer. Okay, welcome to the show. She said that in my private school, they were quick to kick degenerates out. This is very true. Every school year that Milwaukee Lutheran, my son goes to Milwaukee Lutheran, they start out with about 2 times the kids that they have by May because they kick your ass out. Bye. How was it? Bye. He started it. Bye. Your ass be gone. Like, so your grades, you ain't on pace to graduate. Well, I just do some extra credit. Bye.
Hey, look, and see, that's why I be telling people, man, like, fuck excuses. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuse for what you did. You just made a decision and made the wrong one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ain't no excuse. You did this, you know the rule is this. You know what I mean? You get your head busted this way.
Sean said we still hitting on women. And he's on the line, so he's gonna explain that statement as soon as I catch my chat room up.
I was asking, bro, are we still hitting on women?
It wasn't no question mark.
Shit, women heading back, so you better be careful.
It wasn't no question mark. I'm sorry. Tiarsha, I see you. She said, good evening. It's been a while. Tiarsha, I still got your hoodie. I gotta get it to you. I still got your hoodie. Dion said, nah, I'm not hitting no women. I don't argue. So Dion said he ain't hitting no woman. We was making jokes about Dion still going upside somebody's head. He said you hurt a woman more by walking away. Okay, that could be true. Like, I'm just not gonna rock with you no more. Erica says, first off, I'm gonna say something else. I'm not just going to say anything while I'm within arm reach. Okay, so you're gonna get strategically moved around. Mama, I'm saying Mama because I'm thinking about Mama Jenkins. Miss Williams, Beverly Williams, she said the apartheid stipulations will also affect minority business contracts. We just start seeing black folks working on our roads. Folks just do not know the effect those racist stipulations have. As far as young people, we can teach children their traditional roles, but we also have to be careful how it's done. Society has presented alternate lifestyles and openness. We have to listen. She said Dwayne Wade is doing the best that he can with his child. Is very challenging, and you have to show unconditional love. I think she was going to. I don't like what Dwayne Wade does, but it's his kid. I don't agree with Dwayne Wade's stance on it, but that once again, you got to do what you got to do. You can't tell nobody what to do for their baby. I don't like Dwayne Wade's his whole approach is disturbing to me. Leon says, "Remember now, Kev, it's a two-way street. Yes, it is. Crystal Ship says it's women out here still trying to process shit, trying not to be the strong one all the time, learning how to allow a man to be a man and how to let a real man lead.
Yeah, everybody learning. Everybody learning shit, man. You know what I mean? We all trying to get it together.
Shabaka, what it do? I see Shabaka Sankor in the chat room. Alexander Brewer said a lot of these. Hold on, let me finish the chat room because it's behind. Alexandria says a lot of these single mothers have a misconstrued idea of masculinity. Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
I definitely want to touch in on that point.
Thank God for breast milk and prayer, says Erica. And Shabaka, he's saying, please join them for their show tomorrow night for Shabaka's Black Experience in Has. That's the number. I'm gonna start sharing that. I'm gonna share that link in the People's News Network. Now, Sean, you've been on hold, you've been patient, so I want to make sure you get to pop your P's. What's going on?
How you doing today, man?
We are blessed by the best.
Courtney, hello, Courtney. Hello, Professor, real Dr. Carter, and KB, who likes to hang up on me, who doesn't allow me to speak about what I got going on the weekend. Just hangs up the phone on me. But always
you called me in the
bro.
elevator. You was in the elevator. You hung up the phone yourself.
I was thinking about it. Doesn't matter. I was thinking about it. I was in the elevator, right? I said, man, let me call my brother KB because I'm thinking about it. What you do when I tell you I'm in the elevator, you hung up on me.
Not true, but go ahead, man. I'm about to hang up on you again. What's happening?
Anyway, so we were listening, me and my wife said that a woman can't raise a boy to be a man.
Okay.
I agree, but I want to hear it just now.
You went out.
Here she go right here. What you
to a certain extent, because you're a woman, you can't be no way to be a man or a woman. You can do all you do so much.
I can't hear her, Sean. We can't hear her.
She said that well, okay, well, whatever. She said that to a certain extent a woman can't teach a man to be a man. Well, you can't teach the boy to be a man. You need a man to instill certain shit. Which I agree with. And I gotta agree based off of what we see in our society now. All these emotional ass boys. But I still want you to repeat what Tiasha said because I had a comment based off of her question, and you haven't repeated that yet for me, but I'd appreciate that.
I don't know how this turns into you telling me. I don't know what you're talking about. I got to go all the way back in the comments. What did she say? Why don't you just tell me what she said?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I was trying to ask the question, and you kept telling me, basically to stop talking.
Yeah. See, the one thing that makes this work. The one thing that makes this work is if we don't all talk over each other. So sometimes somebody get an idea and somebody be talking and they'll butt in and they'll try to use that. I ain't trying to cut you off, but they really cutting you off. So sometimes you just got to finish what you're saying. So, and you breaking up a little bit too. So that kind of adds to it. Like your audio, I don't know. You got to like pull the antenna up on your Primeco phone. But no, I would love to address what she said, what Tiasha said. I would love to. I mean, that's what we do. I would love to know what she said so I could, because I want to make sure you like. I'm trying to let you get your point out. I don't know where you are.
I don't believe that, KB. Yeah, okay. I think you don't like it when I get my point out.
Okay.
Where was you at this weekend, man? I met a lot of your family.
What you say?
I met a lot of your family this weekend.
Okay. My family is here. I got a lot of family here.
Yeah, I was saying, where were you?
Shit, I wasn't around them. I'll be at my crib. I'm normally just chilling at the pad. I'm not out.
You gotta get more, baby.
Nah, I'm cool.
You gotta get more, bro.
Nah, I'm cool. I don't know which of my family members you were around, so it depends on who it was. Because some of them I wouldn't even be around.
When Bozy walked in, they were all overjoyed to sing. So
Yeah,
it was y'all family.
we love Bo.
Somebody drive for the bus. It was her birthday or something.
I don't know. We have to chop it up off the air, Sean, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I stay to myself because I'm an outlaw. So we live up in the mountains above town, hiding out from the sheriff. So I don't know what goes on. Erica, you said you're still on the line. I want to make sure you get heard as well. I apologize for you having to sit.
Hey, Erica.
Queue.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What did you want to add?
So I also wanted to talk about what Tiaja said. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I apologize if I'm not. But Real also said a point that I wanted to talk about when he was talking about his ex, who was installing, in my opinion, toxic masculinity into her child, where she wouldn't allow him to express himself at all. And Real is right. She was creating a killer. But this past Friday, I went to a court hearing for a young man who was killed. R.I.P. to Purcell, justice for Purcell. I went to the sentencing of that case. And the young man who was not even 19 years old, well, he's 19 now, but he was 4 days shy of his 17th birthday when he killed this man, okay? Over a pair of sunglasses, okay? His mother sat in the audience, and she still, as we're watching this sentence, I understand it's a very traumatic, eventful thing to be the defendant's mother in a case, because somewhere you have to ask yourself, where did I go wrong at? But if we were to look at where she kind of may have went wrong, it's because she didn't allow that young man to express himself. And then she showed no remorse for his feelings. And for so long after you get that type of treatment, you now have no remorse. And one thing both sides of that situation could understand, and one thing the judge said about the defendant in the case, was he showed no remorse. And even when he tried to defend himself, he still had no understanding of how to defend himself, besides probably pulling the trigger of a gun. So when we're talking about why these 15-year-old kids is out here shooting and murdering people, it's because they've had 15 years of their mother showing no remorse for their lives. So how can we expect them to have remorse for other people's lives?
Yeah. Well, is it a lack of showing remorse, or is it failure to teach consequence and punishment?
That too.
You know, because we get a lot of parents that get upset when you try to tell their kids the right thing, right? Well, don't talk to my son. Don't tell my daughter what to do. Don't do this. Don't do that. Okay, you don't want nobody to correct them, but you're not correcting them. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a failure to teach them to be empathetic and remorseful. I don't know if you can really give out lessons on being remorseful unless you've experienced something that's gonna make you remorseful. But that crime, that consequence and punishment, you know, that's something that you learn throughout life, unless you have some of these parents that don't want you. Well,
I understand that, Sean. I understand where you're going with that direction, but we talking about the development of the brain. Well, I'm talking about the development of the brain, and maybe Real could probably tap in on this. But once you've been told so many times no, or once you've been chastised, I'm gonna say that as in a polite way, even though we on Outlaw Radio. But once you chastise a child for being emotional, that leaves a scar. You know what I'm saying? A mental scar on them. And then after you've had so many,
I don't know about
after you've had so many scars, well,
I don't know about that.
You know, that's why I like hopping out here, because I definitely like your opinion, because your opinion help bring balance to what I'm saying.
No, I don't think just to redirect the child, in particular about, especially a young man, right? To redirect him about his emotions. I don't think it leaves a scar. I'm not checking you about your emotions. I'm redirecting you.
Right.
I'm saying to him, say, man, I get it. I get it. I get it. But you got to stop crying. You got to get it together, right? I hear you. Like, okay, so perfect example. If I walked in the house with my head bleeding, but I was crying, my mother wasn't going to tend to my wound until I stopped crying. She's going to say,
Right.
when you stop crying and you tell me what happened, then I'll help you. So that helped me learn right away, like, okay, get myself together. And then I could say, I fell off my bike and I bust my head. And then she'll say, okay, now go in the bathroom, get the peroxide and the Band-Aids, whatever. And then it go from there. But she wasn't like, shut your dumb ass up. Stop that motherfucking crying. Because then it probably would have scarred me. But she was always just very intentional.
We excusing redirection. I didn't say redirection. I said chastisement.
Hey, they coming at the kids now like that too.
Causing you know what I'm saying? When whooping them, and it's for the reason you said that, you know what I'm saying? The opposite of what you're thinking of is what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm talking about them narcissistic women who may have been abused, and instead of healing, they allowed their pain to turn them dark.
Okay. So
and then once they turn dark into the narcissist, them is the parents we're talking about.
Go ahead, Kamar.
We talking about, you know.
No, I was just saying the women are coming at these little boys like that, man. You see it all the time. Shut your little bitch ass up. Shut your punk ass up. You see it all the time. Quit crying, motherfucker. Shut up. And you know what I mean? So I feel like it's a way you redirect them. You know what I mean? To make a difference too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just saying shut up, stop crying. You know what I mean? Because it's situational. Little nigga arm could be broke, you know what I'm saying, and he can't stop crying.
Right. Well, you know as a parent, you got to know, like, if
you dig what I'm saying. So it's like situational. Right. So you got to understand when it's the right time, and then that way they understand when it's the right time. You know what I mean? By you redirecting them at the right moments through life.
Okay, I feel you on that. Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, in response to that, you know, because I got a problem with that too. How, you know, some of these angry sisters, man, just, you know, abuse their children. But I'm going back to Erica. You know, I got 6 sons, and you know, my boys cried. You know what I mean? We didn't punish them for crying, right? It was unnecessary. When you get to crying for bullshit because you know you're about to be punished, right? Then I'm gonna punish your ass for trying to play me. But you know, I agree with the point of not abusing your children because they're emotional. However, when it comes to the remorseful part of the statement, I don't think you can teach remorse, right? That's a part of the conscience. That's a part of your society. Like, how can I? Okay, so these nuclear societies, right? These families that have these alternative rules in their household, where, okay, little nigga, shut the fuck up. You know, I'm gonna abuse my son. I'm gonna talk to my son like this. I'm gonna talk to my son like that, right? Those are learned behaviors that they endured growing up, right? So it's how do we address this psychological torment that was endured by the parents that they're now reflecting onto their children, right? Mm-hmm. You have these women, man, that have this misguided idea of what a man is or what a man should be.
Right. Is that what Tiarsha said? I think I do remember her saying something to that regard about, or no, that was Crystal Ship who said that a lot of women still dealing with stuff, so they have a hard time, you know, accepting a man's leadership. So now let me, Mama Jenkins says when my son
that was the comment right there, KD.
So it was Crystal Ship. It wasn't Tiarsha. Mama Jenkins said when my son went to Dominican, those nuns didn't fucking play. Parents got to be parents and not friends. Parents is on the job learning. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that's the one thing about it. And I want to say that because everybody can kind of pontificate and talk about all of these great parenting skills and tactics that they have, but you are very much learning as you go. right? And so I know I was a more efficient, I won't say better, but I was a more efficient parent with my son because I had my daughter first. And so there was a lot of kind of try and learn and fail, try and fail type things that we went through. Not that we was experimenting on her, but raising another human being. So there was a lot of things that I knew in terms of even with my daughter's emotionally, the way she dealt with it. Can admit as a man, I wasn't as tough on her about being emotional, like outwardly emotional. I was more like, okay, well, let daddy take care of it. Stop crying. But that's where the balance comes in because my wife could step in and say, nah, no, you just stop that whining and shit. No, I'm not your daddy. Shut up. Right. And so I'd be like, but that was my baby girl. So, but with my boy, it was kind of like, hey, man, stop it. I wanted him to toughen up. And she'd just be like, no, he got to learn. You know what I'm saying? You leave him alone. So, two parent households, if especially if it's functional, they have balance that you can't replace because you can get that nurturing from your mom, but you can get that kind of directive and structure from your dad. And if kids don't have that, I can see why they screwed up. Jesse Parrish says still learning, like Nelly Fuller Jr. says. He's hollering at Shabaka. Yeah, Shabaka, he already came on and talked about y'all Tuesday night show. Let me see.
Times is changing. Times is changing. The kids is changing. You know what I mean? So, and it never was a pamphlet on raising kids. So as times change, man, you know what I mean? It's always
book. You didn't read the Dr. Spock book? I read the Dr. Spock book before my daughter was born. I read that book called Cover to Cover. Dr. Spock's Guide on Raising Children. You didn't read it, Rail?
No,
but
nobody read this shit but you.
It's all good. It's all good. I read my daughter in the womb too. Yep, and that's why she's a genius now. I read books to her in the womb. Right.
And that worked.
Yes, it did.
That worked.
And she knew my voice. She was familiar with my voice as a newborn. When I was coming to the room, she'd be like, I know that's my daddy. So yeah, as a reader, as they say, as a reader. I should have read more than my son. I don't know. Alexandria says they're the same with the little girls too. They strip these little girls from their femininity. Oh my goodness. What these little girls, listen, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about the BET Awards last night because I'm like, if you a little girl right now and you listening to music, who can you really look at? Like, because everybody is bent over.
That's what they think is femininity.
Right.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
Right.
It's like all the men, all the young men think I'm going to the guns. We're gonna bust, we're gonna shoot. Right. So all the girls think, well, I just gotta bend over and shake my booty and he'll give me some money. I ain't gotta work hard. You gonna pay me for what I do. It's like, man, we are screwing our kids up. Exactly. And that's how I became an old man last night during the BET Awards. Like, this is some bullshit. Talking about nothing but Satan music. I was on some other shit last night. I wouldn't even watch the whole thing. Mama Jenkins says most of these young men have committed murder are not remorseful until they get that time slapped on their ass. These parents talk to all their children bad. The names that a mother calls her child is a damn disgrace. I don't know if y'all ever been in Walmart or in the store and you seen a young mother with some kids and she was motherfucker this. Get your motherfucker that. Oh man, I get so mad at that. Like, stop cussing at that little baby, man. What's wrong with you? Man. And I get that they may be frustrated, and it's like you don't understand what I got to go through. But you planting seeds for some destructiveness when you do that to your kids. Because
man, I was at a store and me and my daughter, we was actually coming out the store in the parking lot. And we was behind a lady and her two sons and little girl. Man, she was hollering and cussing all through the motherfucking parking lot at them kids. We got in the car and my daughter looked at me, Daddy, I'm glad you don't talk to me like that.
Right. Absolutely. And that's you've done right.
She recognized the difference. You know what I'm saying?
She can see dysfunction, and that's so important. When you're young, you say, wait a minute, that ain't right. Shit, that ain't right. So that's special.
But there's a lot of women who oh my bad. Did you want to read that first?
Oh, go ahead, bro. You good.
There's a lot of women who've never seen healthy parenting, but then they left on their own to do the parenting.
As a young girl, yep.
Right. So like the other day I was cleaning some fish in the kitchen sink, and my daughter had to wash her hands. I said, baby, I'm cleaning this fish in the kitchen sink, but go ahead and go to the big bathroom and wash your hands for me. You know, I understand it's inconvenient, and I really appreciate you doing what Daddy asked. And my lady was like, damn. And I said, well, you know, even though I'm washing fish and I'm the father, I said, I still understand that my children are little people. They still got little emotions and shit. And I said, when time allows and it's nothing emergency that I need you to just jump when I say jump, I'm going to explain my tactics so that it's like, okay, I know that whatever Daddy asks me to do is always with the best interest of the family or me. Like when you do shit like that, when you can, you don't have to worry about motherfuckers submitting or listening to you and shit, because you, even though I didn't have to do that explanation, it showed my daughter that I value her understanding, but then it also showed my lady who never seen that shit, like, damn, okay, that's an aspect. Because, you know, we talk about shit like that, and a lot of women that I've been around when it comes to kids, like the girl who, you know, we still stay friends and shit, and she got it together. Her boy is a brilliant boy. It turned out okay, but it took learning, you know, and hopefully I contributed to that shit. But, you know, what I've noticed with a lot of women that I've dealt with, they wait until they irritated or mad to now try to discipline or correct the child. And now it's coming off wrong because there's aggression with it. Whereas I'm making a point not to correct or discipline my children when I'm angry. I'm like, hey, look, get away from Daddy. I'm upset right now. When I calm down, I'm coming to talk to you. Right. You know, but it'd be motherfuckers that they ain't say nothing to their kid for talking back to them. Now their kid accidentally knocked over their cup of drink, and now sit the fuck down. What's wrong with you? And it's like,
right, no, just a cup. It's a cup of soda.
Right. Right. You shouldn't have had your, and then you shouldn't have had your cup right there.
Right. Miss Beverly says, I understand what everyone is saying. We know that men go to war, men fight in wars, and women do not, so they need to be tough. We also have nature versus nurture regarding alternative lifestyles. We can naturally teach feminism and masculinity, but we have to listen and communicate with our children. The suicide rate of children in Milwaukee is increasing. Just listen to your children in all matters and show unconditional love. Right. Yeah, I don't. I had this conversation with my daughter where nowadays children live under the assumption that they have rights, right? That their opinion matters. I grew up in a generation where I didn't have no opinion.
Right.
I didn't have no rights. Well, I got whatever rights I had. My mama and my daddy told me what they was, right? So the expectation that I had was, I think we're gonna be able to eat tonight. Nothing was. Right. I wasn't entitled about nothing. Kids now just like, you listen to me, listen to what I have to say. Like, and it is a good thing to get their opinion, to be it, and I guess through their own way, my parents did let me express myself sometimes, but it was a lot of times when I basically was told to shut the fuck up, and there was no recourse. Like, and if it was especially in a room where it was two adults, and I was just standing there, I got checked immediately. What the fuck you standing around here for? You see any kids in here? Find something to do. Get your ass on outside. Kids now walk right up while you sitting with your friend and be like, "Hey, Dad, can I sit?" It's like, dude, don't you see me sitting here? So, you know, it's just, once again, there's a tightrope in what some old Southern parents did versus what we do now. Because I realized my parents beat because they got beat, right? And so I tried to be minimal. I tried to give minimal beatings and maximum explanations. And my brother used to laugh at me like, "Oh, I forgot you're gonna talk with your kids." But Dr. Cosby. It built the foundation so that I didn't really too much have to whoop my daughter. If I raised my voice, she got upset. Right. No, she just didn't want me to be mad. So I didn't have to beat her. My little son a little bit different. Sometimes you gotta snatch him up a little bit, you know, kick him in his ass. Some, you know, little boys are a little different. Sometimes they, you know, because he gonna climb up on some shit and fall off and do all that little bad shit. What you say,
when
Sean?
They two, hit them. You gotta catch them when they two. Hit them in the throat.
One good time. Sit your little ass down. Shabaka says, "Fuck Hollywood," and you all know the rest. MC Tone said, "My mother shot at me." He said his mother shot him at Walmart. MC Tone's mama shot him at Walmart. MC Tone.
What?
If you
did that, KB?
MC Tone said his mama shot him at Walmart. I mean, listen. If you know MC Tone, if you've been listening to the show, MC Tone is always the most irreverent dude in the chat room. Like he'll say, "I'm surprised he ain't started talking about his hoes yet," and that's coming. Trust me.
Right.
Alexandra Brewer said these little girls are obsessed with fighting now too. Look at women. They look at women like Krishan Rock and all those Zeus shows promoting masculine black women. Listen, that's a very good point. Thank you, Alexandria. She said the little girls are obsessed with. Okay, she said they have role models like Krishan Rock. I seen the thing about Jocelyn Hernandez, right? And I don't know if people even really listen to the Breakfast Club anymore. I don't know how relevant the platform is. I mean, for what it's worth, but Jocelyn Hernandez, who to me is a train wreck on TV, right? And I seen her raging after the Floyd Mayweather fight. I mean, it was crazy. You got to watch it. She's like really just slapping everybody who's around, just like that comedy show, that video where dude just slapping everybody. She's doing this in real life, and then she's saying on the radio that she identifies as a black woman, even though she understands she's Puerto Rican and she speaks Spanish, but she identifies as a black woman, right? And so she is one of these people who they put the camera there and watch her self-destruct. All these Jocelyn's Cabaret, which encourages the stripper culture, the whole culture, the baddies where all they do is fight. So I get what she's saying, Alexandria, about the Zeus network. It was like what was really going on early on in Love and Hip Hop, where they was showing the most ratchet shit that they could show, so the show could pop. And they've tried to clean it up a little bit now, but it ultimately is necessary, I guess, if you want to get the big numbers, the big ratings, because you get kicked off the show if you ain't really got no storyline. MC Town says I pistol whipped my daughter and she was 4 years old, and she called him a broke pimp. Okay, whatever, MC Town, whatever. I don't know what the hell MC Town talking about right now. Pistol whipping his daughter.
Oh Lord.
She said, "What does that even mean?" You talking about Jocelyn because she's arguing with Amber Rose, who says she's black, but I guess she's Cape Verdean or something like that. So Jocelyn is saying, "I'm blacker than you is," and it's like we don't necessarily want you carrying our flag, though, Jocelyn. Like
we got enough.
Let me point something out.
Right. We got enough. We don't need no more no habitual line steppers. Go ahead, Sean.
Think about this. Think about this, y'all. Right, and my wife just made this point. I didn't want her butting in my conversation, but she made a good point, so she get a pass right now. I ain't gonna put hands on her tonight.
Oh shit.
But in order to watch Jocelyn and them do this shit, right, you have to pay for that subscription, right? And kids can't pay for that subscription, so these are parents. Once again, right, we talking about learned behavior. You pay for your kid to watch this type of shit, but you expect your kid to go out and be something other than.
Well, hold on too, though. Sean, you got to understand too that we have a thing called apps now too, where you can get the Zeus app. You can go,
I understand
like
that.
you can Google the highlights for the show on YouTube. So even if you don't necessarily subscribe to it,
not Google.
The kids can
they
still
not
see
Googling
it.
highlights. They watch the show. They'll tell you the storyline.
Right there.
When you stand there, call into your friend radio show. Call into your friend podcast.
I feel like you probably need to mute your mic.
Can I hop in? Can I hop in real quick?
Go ahead,
think
Erica.
it's just because I think it's just because the parents done downloaded it so they can see, and now the shit is available to the children, and they not monitoring it.
Okay.
It's the same thing, though. It's the same thing. It's if the parents download it and they watching and they letting their kids watch that, then who it fall on? It call on the parent, and they might be watching it with the kids.
But see, I think one of the things too is to be proactive.
From the parents.
To be proactive. So I kind of get what Sean's saying, but so to be proactive in, like, my daughter in particular, that's never been something that she was interested in right? Like she's never been into that kind of that stripper culture, because my wife has always been like monitoring what she saw and explaining imagery to her. So I don't like right now, she could watch it and still laugh with me about it and say, this is so dumb. Look how stupid they look, like, you know, as opposed to like, I want to be just like that. So if you raising your kids a certain way, it's like we laughing at it, you know. We're not looking at it saying, you know, that's the way to go. It's not unsupervised. Jesse says, right, we were told to stand in the child's place, and children only speak when spoken to in our day, but we old school nowadays. Parents want to be their children's friends, boyfriend, and girlfriend. Damn, that's some sickness right there. But it has changed, and rightfully so. I think some adjustments had to be made. I think certain because, like, I'm just telling you, in particular, my aunties, uncles, my mother, my father, like my dad, they whooped ass a lot of times for no reason. Like, you just got whooped. Like, you got. And people tell all the time, man. We used to get kicked in our ass in the Kmart. If she tell you don't touch something and you touch it, she would literally kick you in your ass, like hard. And so you come up off the ground, you got kicked in your ass so hard. And let's just not do that to our kids, right? Like, just chill on that.
Tell you something, baby.
What's that?
That's abuse, bro.
Yeah, okay. Who don't shit? I know. I'm the one who got kicked in my ass.
Damn, bro.
Oh, my mother hit your ass about anything, especially if you don't do what she told you to do. You're gonna get your shit smacked out of you.
My mom was the same way. No, I was fast as a motherfucker.
See, everybody in our age group got some stories. Like, I got my ass whooped with a Hot Wheel track. Like, we grew up getting the shit kicked out of us. So a lot of us said, a lot of us said, I'm not gonna do that to my kids when I get older. A lot of us said that. I'm not gonna beat my kids like that. And then some of us spared the rod too much. And you should have been whooping his little ass, you didn't. And so that's why you gotta work for that balance, man. You gotta look for it and say, some shit he needs his ass whooped for, some shit he needs an explanation. So I can say, I just want to tell you this so I won't have to kick the shit out of you in the future for this. Let me explain this to you, because you do this again, it's hands and feet. I just want you to know. Jesse said, let's see. He said, OMG, MC Tone. What the hell you do to your mama? Listen, MC Tone. Y'all gonna go off the cliff listening to MC Tone. He might say any goddamn thing. Yeah, Jocelyn the stripper. And anybody who's buying Jocelyn's music, please stop. Stop it. I need for her to stop making music ASAP. And this is something else that's being passed on to us as hip-hop. And believe me, she's making money off the music. It's just, I'm like, that's the most horrible shit I've ever heard.
I like her accent, though.
You like her accent?
Yeah, I don't listen to her music, but I like listening to her talk because it's thick to them like that. Okay. That accent is thick as hell.
Okay, well, I'm glad you found something that turns you on. You know, I mean, she's not a bad looking woman or nothing. She's a little manly, a little masculine.
No, I don't like her. Like,
I just think how she conducts herself is a bad example. And she has a daughter. She has a little girl herself. So I mean, you know. He says she's what?
She's a tranny.
I don't know. I'm not
gonna comment. I'm sitting over here thinking the same thing. Like, she looks just like drag queen.
She do be beating everybody up.
I think her
I ain't seen nobody beat her up yet, right?
Eat those hands.
For real.
Have you?
For real.
Come on.
Like a
she
man.
be fighting all women, and she be beating them all up.
Don't she, bro?
Did you see? Come on. Did you see this footage from her at the Mayweather fight? Oh my god, you gotta go watch it, man. It's Manny. It's Manny. I'm like, dude, this chick, she's crazy. Like, she's in a trance, almost like she's in a zone, like she's possessed, man.
That first reunion show, that's how she was, dog.
Yeah.
She snapped out and fought everybody at the motherfucker.
Yeah, nobody want no drama with her either. Normally, you have one female who would say something. No, everybody be like, "Oh shit,
she's strong as a motherfucker."
Right. So that goes back to the question then. If Jocelyn walk up on you and slap the shit out you, am I not supposed to beat the fuck out of her?
Well, I don't know if you're supposed to beat the fuck out of her, but I think you should at least restrain her. I think as a man,
she's a man.
I don't think she's a man. I think as a man, you should restrain her. You know what I mean? And say, well, you need to calm down. And you know, because I would say if you are a man and you got a woman that gets physical, to me, the best thing you could do is show her that you're stronger than her by restraining her totally and completely. Like, look, now you chill out now. Don't make me go further. And if she's still one of those women who's gonna push the line, then you should leave. I'm never gonna say you should beat her up.
If I got a woman that's a man, then that means she's a man, and yeah, she's a fucking man.
If I got a woman who's a man, that means she's a man.
Right.
So let me ask this. So if she was a trainee and I was a woman and you couldn't tell that she was a trainee, she was really a woman, you can take me or not? Because I'm like,
wait, repeat that question again.
Okay, yeah, please.
So if it was me and a man, right, and from a woman's perspective, I want you to help me get us up out this situation, right? But if we didn't know she was a trainee and she steady running up on me trying to fight me, like, how are we supposed to know she a trainee or not?
Well, we don't know that she is a trainee. That's Sean saying she's a trainee.
Okay, KP, let me give her this point of. Let me give her a point of view from a lesbian, right?
Oh my God!
How you gonna do that?
He says he's a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian.
Oh my God!
I'm a lesbian.
He'll take you niggas nowhere.
I will beat if it's a transvestite beating on a woman, I'm gonna intervene. I mean, in all seriousness now, right? I'm gonna intervene. I'm not gonna lay hands on the person unless they lay hands on me, or unless I'm telling them to stop beating on this woman, and they won't stop.
Okay.
That's the only way I'm putting hands on it.
Okay.
Him, it, whatever. Shit.
Let me get my chat room because we winding down. Alexandria said Amber's dad is white and her mom is mulatto Cape Verdean. That woman is an actor. Is that what she's saying?
Actor room.
It got cut off. I couldn't see it. Shabaka said you got to be careful with the apps. They pilfer your data. It's all kinds of security issues with the internet right now. She said grown women shouldn't even be watching Zeus. That's why they have speech impediments now. Go read a book. You're right, Alexandria. MC Tone said my grandmother was a stripper. My grandfather was a pimp. Like I just said, y'all. MC Tone, like, okay, man.
That's party, baby.
Man. Mama Jenkins said what these kids need now is an old-fashioned ass whooping. These little badass kids are not being taught. The mama got a different man weekly and the daddy's in another woman's thing. What we got to realize is there's no stability in the house, and now Big Mama is smoking crack too. Now parents are disrespecting kids, and kids are fucked up. Ooh, Mama Jenkins.
So these kids need old-fashioned parents. That and just like she's saying, like, I was talking to somebody the other day because we got off onto like ancestral worship and shit. And I was just saying how we don't worship our ancestors, but I think what a lot of these kids, if they knew who their granddaddy, grandmama was, what they did to get here, like I didn't fuck up because I was from an era where you ain't want to bring shame on your family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what kept me in line. I actually got parents that I could be proud of. Fire to make happy and make proud of me. It's hard to say that shit when your mama smoking crack and your daddy out somewhere else. Like these kids ain't got that. Like I can't do that shit. Like you don't want to be the one fuck up in your family, but when you come from a whole family of fuck ups, it's like, hey, no holds barred.
Alexandrian said, who had 14 kids? Who had 14 kids? People still do that. He said I deserved a lot of them whoopings. Listen, I'm not gonna lie either. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I got my ass whooped a lot, but I was guilty for most of the shit. I can't even really think of more than once where I didn't deserve the ass whooping. And I can't really even remember that one time. Normally, when you fucked up, that's when you got fucked up, right? And so that was my mom's motto, where if you fuck up in public, you get fucked up in public. That's why you get your kicked in your ass in Kmart, because she done told you before we went in the store, don't go in here and start touching shit and running all crazy. And when you did, it it was instant justice. Like, I thought I told you don't do that. So that kicking your ass reminded you, like, oh yeah, she did say that in the car. I would have went about it a different way because my son would, when they would touch stuff, I'd just say, stop touching stuff. I didn't feel the need to go, bow and send them to the moon, but that's the way she taught me. So that's how I learned. But I did deserve a lot of those whoopings because I did dumb shit, playing with fire, could have burnt the whole house down and set the garbage can on fire in the kitchen and shit like that. And yeah. Had my ass whooped with an extension cord. Yeah, all that good shit. Yep. It was the 80s. It was going down. MC Tone said my mother whooped me with a 20-inch rim off my caddy. What the fuck he's drinking, man? He's on some Taylor Port.
Tone needs some help, man.
Mama Jenkins said she got caught again. I don't know why Facebook is messing with my supporters, man. I don't understand. This is the nature of the beast, man, that we play with.
Start calling in. She can't keep writing that shit.
Yeah, Mama Jenkins, you got to hit the line one time and just get it all out. Alexandria said I can't even fight a 5'2", so I know I can't fight anyone that looks like Jocelyn, aka Jose. She was a stripper though. Like, how could she? Look, that's a different show. I'm not gonna even. We'll have to have a show.
You ain't never seen Valley.
You said what?
You ain't never seen P Valley?
I have never seen P Valley.
The person who owns the strip club.
I don't watch it.
The person who owns the strip club, he gay. So I mean, what they got to do with anything? Shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jocelyn is the fucking man.
I know she has a daughter.
Man, we need to accept that shit.
She has a daughter, so I don't know that they figured that out yet.
Technology, bro. Technology. If they can clone us,
so that's a digital baby. She don't got enough money to have no clone baby. She ain't got that. They don't make that much money. Stevie was gonna put her back on the stripper pole. What you talking about, man? Jesse said when you went outside, not only do you represent yourself, you also represent your family, like Rail said. He also said I went through similar, Kev, in the 90s and the early 2000s. You know what? I don't doubt that you did. Like, I think that there's still some parents in this community that will get on your ass, and there always has been, so everybody didn't totally abandon it. My generation, it's funny because my wife and I had this conversation all the time because she says we as a generation failed our kids. We did a piss poor job of raising our kids as parents. My generation, Generation X, and like I say, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we got the hell kicked out of us, and there was nowhere to run to when we were young. Like, you couldn't go and say, "Hey, I'm getting beat at home," and they'd be like, "What you do?" "Oh shit, they beat me." It's like, but we said we're gonna try this new age parenting, and a lot of us, in an attempt to give our kids things we didn't have, overcompensated. And it just resulted in a lack of focus and structure. But structure being the operative word here, because how many of us have, intentionally created the structure that's needed for a child? Instead of saying, okay, his daddy don't want to act right, fuck him, I don't need him. His mama don't want to act right, fuck him, I don't need him. We try to create our own reality instead of saying, you know what, nah, I still gotta raise this kid the right way. Right. I had a young man who played football for me at Washington High School. His mother did not play. Like, his dad had died when he was a baby. He had older brothers. He had mentors. I had like, his mentor would come to practice and be like, well, I've been, working with him since he was 8, because his mother's absolutely always said, I need him around positive men. So like, and he graduated from Concordia University, got him getting his master's degree. I think he's sheriff deputy right now. Good kid. And it showed. Out of all of the other kids I had on the team, I could, it showed that he had been around men, because I could get at him and he wouldn't cry or break down about it. He just, he didn't like it, but he didn't disrespect. I had some boys who you couldn't even say, what happened to you? What happened on that play? Man, fuck you. I beat your ass. It's like, dude.
Right.
You on your period today? What's wrong with you? And sometimes they
ain't never experienced it, so they take it as a form of threat.
Right. And he never took it that way. As a matter of fact, he expressed to me when he graduated and said, man, the first day I met you in camp, I hated you. He was the meanest motherfucker I ever met. And I'm like, well, that's the way I have to be in order to teach you to play this game and be effective at it. He's like, I get it now. And then after that, he was like, once camp was over, you was the coolest coach I ever had. I learned more from you than I ever learned. That's how he got to play college football. He said, I never even thought I'd be able to do it, but because he listened. at a real genius. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not no genius or nothing like that. I just gave him what was given to me. That's all. Mama Jenkins said, "Look, I got my ass whipped for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. My mother didn't play. She beat the shit out of us, dogs and all. Yeah. People tend to get touched around our house. Everybody knew. You know, shh. What is it? Mama sleep. Don't wake her up, because if she wake up, she coming out that room swinging. I can't even take a goddamn nap without you motherfuckers making a bunch of noise. I'm beat the shit out of you. Like, damn." So yeah, we got our ass whooped, man. Alexandra said the ass whoopings was the original melatonin. Yeah, you go to sleep pretty good after you know, when you get to doing you're in the room. Shit. You better shut your ass up and go to sleep. I get older, I'm leaving. I'm running away next year. I ain't going nowhere. Let me see. Jesse said they would take you back home if you reported it. Yeah, we were told to go ahead and report it, because what she says, we're gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of the people when they come get you. Then I'm gonna make you go with them so you can live in foster care. I could save all the money I spend on you. I said, well, damn, ain't that a trip? Listen, before we go, one last thing. I want y'all to go and see this footage of the Pride Day parade in New York, where they went into this chant. We're queer and we're here. We're queer and we're here, and we're coming for your children. Have y'all seen this?
Right.
It was fun. It was funny at first, but then I started thinking about it. Like, wait, what the fuck? What they do? And so, you know, let me say this: I have no problem with anybody of an alternative lifestyle. And I respect people's, you know, their right to choose what makes them happy. But I think right now America needs to really take a look at how we're processing this whole queer gay thing, right? Like, I think everything has to be done in moderation. And you know, too much of anything is bad for you. And I see several situations, a lot of which we've discussed, due to this agenda. And people say there is no agenda, you just a homophobe. I'm not, right? But there's absolutely an agenda. But I feel like when I see this and I say, well, that's their mantra. We're queer and we're here. We're queer. And they were just kind of just chanting it. Maybe it was all in good fun because it was a Pride Day parade or whatever. But I'm one of the people who hear what you say, but know what you mean. And so I seen this and I said, you know, every year it's a little bit more elbows thrown, a little bit more Brody on how we, you know. And once again, I have no problem with gay people. I just think, you know, too much of anything is bad. So I'm really hoping that we can figure out how we'll manage this thing, right? Like, because at one point, lines have to be drawn, right? Like, and so I feel like the whole assault is not necessarily an assault on I want your kids to be, I'm going to come take your kids. I just think they're saying we just want the least amount of masculinity that we could possibly have. Because to me, that creates some kind of a different kind of generation of men. And I'm very protective of I'm very proud to be a heterosexual male, and I'm very protective of mine's and my son's masculinity and my daughter's femininity as hetero, or they call it cisgender. So when I see something like that, it makes me just kind of scratch my chin and say, you coming for our children, huh? Because they said that's what most paranoid, they say you just paranoid when they say they want everybody to be gay. And then when you see something like that, it's like, so that's a conversation they having, and we're gonna take over the world, like, you know, and Pinky in the Brain type shit. So
I seen a TikTok or some shit, a black lady talking to a baby, like,
John, we can hear you. Hold on. He was talking to somebody in the background. Go ahead, real.
No, I seen a TikTok video. It was somewhere where it was like a black lesbian woman talking to a baby child, like, you can live any life you want, but I really hope you gay. Please be gay. Like, you know, it's like, damn, okay. Like, shit like that. I mean, I don't care who fucking who, but to be honest, if we just stop making that a main topic, it wouldn't matter if a motherfucker is straight or gay if we ain't discuss who fucking who to kids and shit.
Right. Kamar, you look like you want to jump in there. Or you leaving that one alone? Like, I'm cool on that. You muted.
I probably was finna say some shit I shouldn't have said. You know what I mean? But I mean, but really, you know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody who say something like that chant, you know what I mean? You really understand where their intent is. They're showing the world where their intent is. You know what I mean? It's not let people be who they want to be. You know what I mean? Because that's what they try to tell us. We just want to be able to be who we want to be. You know what I mean? But no, y'all ain't really kicking it like that. You really want more people to be gay.
That's an interesting.
Well, shit, if you think about universal law, it says that in order to avoid any karma of your wrongdoing, you have to make your intention known. Because then, if people don't defend against it, it's called like silent compliance.
Okay.
So it pretty much frees you. Like if you fuck with like universal law and magic and shit like that, it frees you of the consequence of doing wrong when you let somebody know what the fuck you about to do and they let you do it.
Okay. I just thought it was interesting, and I'm not. Once again, people so quick to try to label you or whatever. I just thought just like, whoa, this is kind of strange. It felt weird. The energy.
I ain't hear that shit. That shit wild though.
It's in the people's news. Well, if I'll make sure my wife send it to me. I don't know if I posted it, but I'm gonna get it from her and I'll put it in the People's News Network. Shabaka said there's child endangerment. He said the motherfuckers are heterophobic. They should just get some pussy. Okay. Alexandria, you have to love the people who listen to Outlaw Radio. And when we say, when we say keep it a buck, my people who support me, we keep it a buck. I love it. Alexandra Brewer said, I don't know why people still bring their kids to Pride, exposing them to men in rainbow jock straps. Okay, I don't know why straight men are going. Jesse Paris, he said, Gay Manifesto 1973, look it up. There's clearly an agenda and it's being pushed on our youth. Maybe they were, I was just going to say, maybe they were joking around like we're coming for your kids. Like, they say, well, people think we like, monsters or something. So I thought maybe at first they were joking around, just a play on words. Well, it's not. Even if you joke when you say it.
So they shouldn't be able to joke like that.
That's true. Sharon Evans said, I'll chop a fag's confusion off coming for my kid. Once again, you gotta love the people who support Outlaw Radio, man. I love it. Said they want to groom our children for that shit. That and a bunch of other things. Let me see. She said that is where nature versus nurture come from. They have to be careful in the media. They're showing more alternative traditional lifestyle. There has to be fairness, balance. That's why I said anything too much of anything is bad. When it was super hyper masculine, it was damaging to a certain extent. And now that you got this kind of rainbow coalition type thing going on, it's getting kind of ridiculous because a lot of people are confused. He said, OMG, that TikTok video was horrible, real.
They seen it.
Said, nah, this is about coercion and depopulation. There's a lot to it. Maybe we can talk about that Wednesday when we come back. Like I said, we're gonna try to hit two episodes this week because I know in previous weeks I'm taking time to just spend with my family, working in my garden, enjoying my kids. My kids growing up on me. I ain't gonna have my babies around. They're gonna be on their own thing. So I've just been enjoying that. And so I've learned that sometimes when your body says rest. When something says just relax tonight, relax. You're not going to miss out on anything that you're supposed to have. I don't believe I'll ever get anything I don't deserve, and I'll never believe I'll lose anything that I was supposed to have. So that's just how I operate. But we're gonna get it in this week, both nights. And shout out to ENC Jordan, who's heavy. I know people say conservative black dude, whatever, heavy in politics, but he big ups Outlaw Radio all the time and shares our show and our platform with the people who he rocks with. So, because like I said, I'm neither a Republican nor a Democrat, right? We're the party poopers. We poop on both parties because their treatment of us has been equally egregious on both sides. So shout out to him. Kamar, you got something coming up this week? What you got? Because I know we'll be back on Wednesday. So what you doing between now and then? Just chilling?
Well, tomorrow I'll be at the Sherman Phoenix, you catch me up there tomorrow. But other than that, man, I really ain't been trying to do too much because I got a lot of stuff going on that I got to keep up with. You know what I'm saying? To keep stuff on track. So, but hey, man, it's finna be big things popping.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a good thing. It's gonna be a good look for you. I'm eagerly anticipating. I can't wait.
That's
Real, what you got cracking, man? I got to give me another bottle of that wine, and I need your space for these RCs because I'm realizing now, even sitting in the studio, I got 7 or 8 brand new RCs that have been driven once that just really need to be blown out. So I need to get that spot from you. I tried to drive around over there by your joint, and I kept running them like that can't be it, that can't be it. So we'll chop it up though. We'll chop it up.
Yeah.
What you got popping this week?
Shit, just still working on this book, 40 ways to get $40. Then I get, I'm ordering more copies of my 12 steps to becoming your own dope and my gratitude journal because my TikTok video's been taking off, man. They got motherfuckers reaching out to me in my DMs asking for books. So shit, I'm just looking forward to the day I can fire my job because of my intellectual properties and shit. And I'm also about to look into seeing how I could become a wine distributor because legally in Wisconsin I can't sell the wine I make. I can gift it and get donations or shit like that. But I want to look into finding a way I could legit flip it so that's just another avenue of revenue for me.
Okay, that's what's up. Let us know. We're gonna support however we can. Sean, you got a lot going on. You talked about earlier something was going on. Did you have something you got planned this week or something that's coming up or?
No, it's nothing planned this week. We still pursuing closing that store down and healing that neighborhood, man. And it's come to light that there's been a lot of people falsely arrested and sentenced to prison behind some of the behind these owners, man. And I just need prayers and support, man. As we continue this fight, trying to deal with this violence and this crime, man. I'll be putting something out there next week because we need as many people as possible to show up and lend a voice to what's true. And so yeah, I'll keep y'all updated. It would have been nice to get this chance last Wednesday to share what was going on because that happened Friday, but I ain't gonna hold that against you, bro. I got a lot of love for you, bro. So it's nothing.
Thank you for not holding. Thank you for not holding what I do on my show against me, right? I ain't gonna hold it against you for doing your show. My sister, you still on with us? Okay, I thought she was still with us. Okay, I just wanted to if you got something popping before we go, I want to give you a chance to push it.
Well, the only thing I got popping right now is organizing the working class people that work downtown and the security companies, helping them strengthen their union and fight for higher wages and better benefits.
Okay, keep up the fight. Keep it up. Listen, it's always a lot going on Outlaw Radio, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want you to understand that if you heard something on the show that kind of wet your whistle or made you feel invigorated, please let us know. Please share the show with other people. Let them know what's going on. I want people to be able to hear it and interact with the show. It's always therapeutic for us to be able to have these powwows when we do Outlaw Radio, and I'm grateful to the people that express that to me when I'm not on. When they do reach out to me and say, "Why are you not on the air?" And it's like, "Well, I'm chilling." What the fuck you mean you chilling? Where the show at? Right? Like, fuck you. Right? So I get that, and I'm appreciative of that. But I do want to say now is the time for accountability. I end the show so many times saying that. When I look around at this culture that we're living in right now, this culture of dysfunction, yes, there's a systematic nature to it, and I do understand that this has kind of been, manipulated and it's been kind of perpetuated up on us. But all we got to do is close the door. All we got to do is change the channel. All we got to do is shut the TV off. All we got to do is, take the phones. How often do you really sit with your kids and talk? There's some issues and some instances where me and mine sit and talk. We have conversations, my wife and my children and I. And we talk about the differences in yesterday and today and what was and how we learn what we learn. And then we listen to their perception and we try to create some kind of understanding. And I'm not saying once again that I'm a perfect parent or the way that I do it is the best way to do it. What I'm simply saying is there has to be a sense of accountability, and when we stop overlooking bullshit, making up excuses for people, saying, "Oh, well, he only did that because he didn't have this," or "Well, too bad," right? Well, you shouldn't leave them kids alone. No, go get them kids if they fucking up, right? And we got to understand that proper preparation prevents poor performance. And so if we keep that in our back pocket and operate like that all the time, we can avoid a lot of bullshit. No, your life is not going to be sucker free, and your kids, you can give them the greatest thing you ever could give them in life, and they can still grow up to be fuck ups. We know that to be true. No foolproof way to do it. But I think if you do the best you can and you honestly know you did the best you can, you'll feel way less guilty and way less remorseful when you go see his little ass in the prison. You say, "Hey man, it ain't my fault you're here. It's your fault you're here, and I'm not gonna take blame for it. I'm not gonna let you allow you to scapegoat me." So we just got to keep trying to be our best selves, man. I hear people talk about higher and lower, upper and inner and outer and that kind of stuff. We have to keep trying to be the best people we can be individually, because if you fucked up, you can't lead nobody nowhere, right? It's just like if you're the type of person whose criticism of the community is so far, so much more and so higher than your contribution to it, and we automatically know that you a coon, and then we stop listening to you. But there is hope. You can tune in Wednesday night and uncoonify yourself. Peace and love, man. Capital Driving Accents, stand up, stay steady. Keep your head on the swivel, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have a good one.